Yeah, audio should be fine now. We're live. Jab's isn't here yet, but we are live. The one person who's watching it while we're still unlisted, who probably got the link off Twitter, I'm proud of you. For coming in exactly when the stream started. It's dedication. Let me just post it on Discord. Man, I completely forgot to prepare for today's stream. I don't even have Watch Together open. Yeah, anyway, how are you doing, people currently watching our stream? Hello. ECUM announcements. And that, everyone. It has been a while since we covered MatPat. I assume the last time was on the anniversary one, right, when we watched the Mario video.
I think so.
It's fitting that the last time was Mario and now it's Sonic.
True. It's coming full circle, I guess. I don't know exactly what the circle is, but you know.
Well, knowing MatPat, you probably theorize that the circle is actually a diamond or a pentagon.
I was gonna say Sonic 3 is gonna be a musical, and then he doesn't mention anything to do with musicals until like the last 10 seconds.
Wasn't that the entirety of the Mario video? Just like, oh, it's gonna be a musical, and
Well, he barely mentioned anything relating to it being a musical. He was just like, "Oh, this is my theory of what the plot is gonna be," and then at the end, he's like, "Musical, I guess."
that video was so weird, and I even missed like half an hour of that section because I had to go and eat.
Oh yeah, what? Did yeah. Oh, did we really just start at the exact same time as Metals Forge? That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's funny that we're pretty close in the number to Metals Forge is 66, we're on 63.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hasn't he been doing it for less time than we have as well?
I think so, but I imagine he streams more often than we do. Because we don't stream weekly. Though, to be fair, this year we've been pretty good about it. About streaming weekly. I don't actually know when he started. I don't watch Metal Forge. I don't think I've watched a single one, so I don't actually know. But yeah. Matthew Patrick, our good old MatPat. I'm just stalling until Jeb gets here. Yeah. I don't know. Today's stream's gonna be a bit chill. I'm not too fussed about the stream. About covering something like it's gonna infuriate us or shit like that, like CinemaSins or something. Though it is funny because one of the videos that was in contention about us watching today was the CinemaSins video on Rango, because I was like, ooh, that's gonna annoy me, and I didn't know how far that annoyance would be, if it would be entertaining or not. But then we just thought MatPat. We like MatPat. He makes fantastic videos.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my recommendation code, just MatPat. Yeah.
MatPat, yeah. Didn't when we covered Birdman, I'm pretty sure Matt he recommended one of Birdman's videos. I think he recommended the video he mentioned in his No Way Home video. He just said the 3 arguments that he commented on his video were bad, so you could just do that. You could say, hey, this video we're about to cover about Sonic, made by MatPat, it is a masterpiece and needs a CW live action show. And so
you say that. The MatPat unironically had like a YouTube Red TV show.
Did he? Oh yeah, wasn't it like the something lab?
It was like recreating video games. Like he recreated the Five Nights at Freddy's setup. He like recreated what is it, Mirror's Edge or something.
Ooh, recreating Mirror's Edge is kind of a neat video idea.
It was just a case of like recreating the setup, I guess. Like
Right.
wall running, like looking at stuff through security cameras and like chasing something down, like that sort of stuff.
Right.
But I think it only had like one season because I don't think he mentioned it after like 2016, I think.
Well, to be fair, YouTube Red was a terrible idea, and every show they tried to make, firstly, didn't sell. Secondly, nobody fucking used YouTube Red. So, like, even the PewDiePie show, like, nobody watched that. And he was the biggest YouTuber in the platform. Speaking of biggest YouTuber in the platform, hey Jab, how you doing?
Hello, my laptop decided to go. We ran into a problem restarting when I plugged my headset in. So
Get a
That's what
better
I've been.
headset, you cringe lord.
this £150 headset, I think it's the laptop.
Dear lord, yeah. I assume the headset isn't a problem. Alright, well, now that we're all here, Tin, do you have a recommendation for the recommendation corner?
Well, I guess my recommendation, well, the main sort of thing I've been watching is Game of Thrones, and like, update on that, I'm on the shit seasons now, so not recommending that anymore.
Unfortunate.
But the thing I'm gonna recommend is so related. It's House of the Dragon because I just finished it like yesterday because a semi-funny story. Zod sent me the files, and like the file of the finale was just too big for the little storage I have on my laptop. So I was slightly annoyed that like that's too big. I was not gonna watch it because I'm that petty, I guess.
Sure.
So it took me until now, and like for the rest of the season, it's great. It's great, and it does have one excessively gory section. If you know, it was slightly unnecessary, but the season as a whole is great. Like again, if you're like a fan of the first four seasons of Game of Thrones, definitely watch it. Like it's nothing like season 6 to 7 or season 6 7 to 8. It's really freaking good, and honestly, I really hope that like everything around this kicks off and like we get like a good Jon Snow TV show and like a good few seasons of this. It's,
Would that show
just yeah,
be with Kit Harington?
yeah, like I don't think it's confirmed, but like I think he said he's producing it along with George R. R. Martin.
Right.
But like yeah, like this, like Rest of Dragon's like really freaking good. Like I'd even recommend it to someone who isn't a Game of Thrones fan because like it's pretty easy to get into it, but overall it's just it's really good, and like even after like just after season 8, it's just really good to have some Song of Ice and Fire content which isn't utter shit. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Just House of the Dragon. Yeah.
Whoa. Jeb. Your recommendation time for the recommendation corner.
Whoa. I haven't really been experiencing much because work, but I've been watching.
I thought you were gonna say I haven't been experiencing much because I had a blood clot, but
That too.
work. Yeah. Well, to be fair, last stream you already had the blood clot, so it's not used anymore. So you can't use that as an excuse. I'm
I
afraid.
can use that I've had CT scans as an excuse.
That's true.
But anyway, I haven't really been watching media, so I guess the closest thing is Jack 2 because I was watching someone do a playthrough because I'm going to replay it again. So I'd recommend Jack 2. For those that don't know, Jack 2 is part of the franchise Jack and Daxter, which is developed by Naughty Dog. Now, don't worry, this was before The Last of Us 2 days. So, pre-Druckmann. Let's just get out of there. I think Ruben was still there at the time, or was it the first one he left? I'm not entirely sure. No, they were still there at the time. They left for Jack X. Henning was still there as well. But basically, it's about Jack, Daxter, and Kira and Samos, who are other characters. They get sent into this mysterious city. 2 years later, Jack's been experimented on and such. They're all kind of separated. Daxter saves him. And you go on to find more about the world you're in, the state of it. the key players in terms of threats and such. And you uncover mysteries and get answers which I wouldn't delve into. Well, no, I'm going to delve into because it's like nearly 20 years old. Jesus. Where you find out stuff like Jack actually traveled to the future. They all did, and they're basically doing a time loop. So the Haven City they're in, that's in the future, they meet the young version of themselves, so they can send them to the past to then come back. So bootstrap paradox. It's a really interesting game. It's a stark departure from Jack 1, which is basically your platformer collectathon to like Banjo-Kazooie and such. And in this case, this is more of a sandbox type game with more shooter elements. Very difficult game. That's one of the complaints, but I think the difficulty, aside from checkpoints, is pretty fair. And it does give you the ability to keep learning as a player. So a lot of people like to do the Wasteland moves. They think that's super effective, but actually you got different gun types and a reason to use them. So like the Vulcan rifle for long distance precise shooting, and many people just spam the blaster Wasteland move. Yeah, I'd recommend that. It's a very good game. I wish Jack and Daxter would come back, but I don't think it ever will. Not this current Naughty Dog. And the reason I kind of get back into it is because I've seen Jave's tweets, and I'm like, oh yeah, Jack and Daxter's really good. So I want to revisit all the games and give my thoughts on them again. So yeah.
Whoa. Hey, it was my turn. I
Whoa.
watched like a gazillion things these past few weeks, so it's hard to pick one. I was
The
gonna
Last
say
of Us.
we will talk about The Last of Us after we're done with the recommendation corner, just because I think people will be curious. Not for very long though. We will cover the show once it's done, but just our general thoughts. Anyway, I was debating whether I should mention Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, that I'd watched 2 weeks ago. Or, last stream I had already watched it, but I wanted to mention in Bruges because I just watched that like the previous night. But I think everyone already knows that film is good, so just go watch Puss in Boots 2. Just do it, okay? It's worth it. But my recommendation is actually gonna be Babylon, because I think it's a film way less people have seen, and I really enjoyed it. I get why it got negative reception in terms of like just general audiences not being as interested in critics being negative about it, because it is an insane fucking film. It's basically like Damien Chazelle mixed Whiplash with La La Land while he was doing coke, and that's how I describe Babylon, because it genuinely is insane. The pacing is just non-stop, a bunch of stuff happening, and it's like a film that is both a love letter to filmmaking, but also like talking about how filmmaking can destroy you, in the same sense of like how being an artist and that obsession with art can like kind of drag you down some really like insane paths. It's a really interesting film. I really loved it, and Tobey Maguire's part of the film is very funny. I really enjoyed that. So I didn't mention it especially, but yeah, it's got a lot of different characters that get like some pretty great payoffs, even like the smaller like supporting ones, but the three main ones, which are Margot Robbie, I don't know the main actor's name, I'm sorry, but the guy who plays Manny, and Brad Pitt, all those three characters are really, really good. I think Brad Pitt's character is probably my favorite. So yeah, I really recommend it. It is a really interesting film. It is like 3 hours long though. And I mean, if you're used to like the comic book, that kind of stuff that's like easier to digest, I don't think you should watch it, because it really is a harder film. But I do really recommend it. I really liked it. So yeah. Zod, your turn to recommend something.
I'm like the others. I've really not like been watching or doing much lately. I suppose the best thing I can suggest is I got Grand Theft Auto 4 on because of the Steam sale recently. It was like, yeah, why not? So I got that, and one of those games that like when I was younger, just like I played the fuck out of, you know. Like I used to love it a lot, so well, revisit it, you know, see what it's like, and I still feel like it holds up quite well. Uh, like it's got just sort of the basic Grand Theft Auto stuff of just you've got your city to go around and do what you want in, but also they keep a lot of it locked off from the start, and they give like their in-universe reasoning is because of like terror warnings and stuff like that. But I think just like in terms of story as well, it's quite funny to compare it to something like the Grand Theft Auto 5 as well, because the fifth game is like a lot more. It's very sort of light-hearted and quite satirical and that sort of stuff. And then fourth game is just extremely dark and like tackling stuff like trauma from war and just like generally just like American sort of culture as well. Yeah, basically it's just you're an immigrant from Europe who's come into the city sort of just to get away from the consequences of some things you've done in the past, whilst also uh, seeking revenge on someone as well. That's also another big sort of theme in the game. Just like the path of revenge and whatnot. And yeah, it's quite interesting to go through. Just like starting off like right at the very bottom, just new to the city, no clue what you're doing, no real connections, and just sort of as you go through the plot, you just get tangled up in more and more severe sort of criminal stuff. Making way up the ladder, meeting these like powerful people, and it just I just like the sort of the atmosphere of it all. Like they keep it, well, they try to keep it fairly grounded. Like, it's a story that takes itself very seriously, and I like that. It's the kind of thing that I do enjoy, and also it has the two DLCs, which are they're both like explore different sides of the city as well, and have different tones. So they make for interesting experiences, and that all of the stories just sort of tie together in these really sort of subtle ways, just to show that it all connects. It's all one city, and some of these people are inevitably going to cross paths and all that. But I just it's just a fun time to just fuck around in for a while, or just take in the story of it all, and just so I'll go with that.
Cool. I okay. In the first 5 minutes of the stream, did we like say anything like did we curse or something like that, or did we? Not the first 5 minutes, for like 30 seconds, because I'm very confused because the stream has limited monetization, and I've got no clue why. We didn't really say anything too controversial yet. Like Jap wasn't even here until like what 5-10 minutes into the stream. I'm very confused.
It was Tim's fault.
Yeah, blame her.
Well, we mentioned Meadows Forge. That's kind of it. I don't think we said basically anything. Why the fuck is it? Why the fuck is it limited? What? Okay, I'm gonna appeal later. I'm just very confused, cause I generally don't know why. Yeah, there's nothing in the description. There's no reason for it. Okay, whatever. I'm just confused. But I will request a review later. But yeah, that was recommendation corner. Last of Us now. I think only Zod and I watched it. Jeb, you didn't, right?
I have not. I've heard many things about it though.
Yeah. Alright. Well, I think if you ignore that it is adapting the game on its own, it's a good episode. But I will compare it to the game because the game just does everything much more, because it is an adaptation. It's basically doing the same story of the game, like 1-to-1, except when it makes some weird changes that I don't really understand why. Um, but yeah, basically it's the game but longer and with some changes that make the story very slightly worse, I think. Um, it's a good episode of television overall. Like, even comparing to the game, I don't think it's bad. It's just I think it's very much worthless if you've played the game, and if you haven't, the even then the time efficiency of the show of telling you the same stuff that the game did in that time is really, like, not as good. Especially like the fact that they have that opening scene that for some reason people seem to be loving, when it's like easily the worst scene in the show so far. That is just like saying, "Ooh, this is the point of our show." Like a scene in 1968 with the Radcliffe from Agents of Shield just saying like, "Ooh, fungi, they're dangerous. They could destroy humanity." And then we cut to 2003. It's like, "Oh, okay, that was worth spending 5 minutes on." Genuinely, like, I don't understand what they're doing with that show. But it's not bad. I just think as well, like, because it is an adaptation of the game, you can make some comparisons that are like very they're very mildly different, but that irk me a lot. Like, I don't like Pedro Pascal's voice. I don't think it's like gruff enough. I don't think, you know, I think he sounds just like Pedro Pascal. I think he sounds way too vulnerable and sensitive with that voice, when that's just not who Joel is. Um, and after we have the time jump, he just doesn't seem like as weary and tired as Joel should by that point. And I don't know if it's something about like him not like having bags and big enough bags under his eyes or something like that with like makeup, or if it is just Pedro Pascal can't like get that look in his eyes that shows his like I suppose like that age and that regret over like just a huge part of his life of losing Sarah and just being so like emotionless by that point, and more like, you know, stoic than he was before he lost Sarah and before the apocalypse. So yeah, I don't know if the problem is in itself Pedro Pascal, but I also don't think he's like perfect. I might very much prefer Joel in the game, which, yeah, I replayed the game up to the point where the episode is just to remember how the story goes. And yeah, I think the game does a lot more with that time, especially because the episode for some reason cuts the Robert stuff like altogether, which was weird. Yeah, that's what I gotta say, at least so far. It's a good show. It's just I don't like it. It doesn't do anything for me as someone who really enjoys the game. Zon, do you have anything you want to say about the episode, or?
I've not got much to say. It's just sort of like, I don't know if there's like just some things in the episode that are gonna have like sort of context that matter more later on. So I want to avoid that saying anything too definitive until like basically until like the show's just sort of like over. So we've got more of just sort of a sense for what they're going for, sort of thing.
Mm.
But yeah, yeah, I'd say it's like fine so far. You know, it's not like amazing, like 10 out of 10 stuff, and also it's not really like bad. It's just like, yeah, it's just fairly solid. You know, I'm all right with most of the casting. I'm still not really sold on Ellie yet.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't know what it is. It's just not working for me at the minute.
Well, the character's also a bit different, right? Because she seems like super hyper, and she's always like going, like she's messing around with everything. She goes into Joe's book and sees the fucking code that Bill and Frank used to talk to him, and she, you know, figures it out while he's asleep because she just needs to spend time. In the game, Ellie just sits there and keeps staring out the window. Like, it's not implied that she snoops around like and finds a lot of shit, right? Like, it just seems like she's always like like hyper, and she's always acting like really weird. Like she always wants to find out more about Joel and these things, whereas in the game they had like that animosity. So she was just like, let's just kind of get this done until they grow their bond over time.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel like Ellie. It feels like a different character, which Bella Ramsey plays fine, but it just doesn't feel like Ellie herself.
yeah, pretty much. I like seeing Gabriel Luna in things.
Yeah.
It's nice to have him. I very rarely see him in anything, so something like this that gets a bit of attention. And I think he's alright as Tommy so far. I need to see more sort of thing, but
Yeah, I just like
Yeah.
that it's Gabriel Luna, because Gabriel Luna is great. It's awesome. We love him.
yeah, I feel like he was pretty good with what little he's had so far. Although one minor change I will say that I'm generally just sort of like, why is in the town when the car crashes, is like in the game it's like an actual car crash, and in the show they decided to make it a plane smashing into the ground, and it's like, okay, so that just sort of makes it worse.
Yeah, it was really weird, and the way it's shot, it's very confusing as well. I don't get why they changed it.
Look, at least in the game it's like, yeah, obviously a car crash is going to be quite common. Everyone's panicking, desperate to get out.
Mm.
But then a plane crash just it's just so contrived in a lot of ways.
Yeah, to fall exactly there where there are a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a very specific place to crash. So so that a piece of debris can go in the right place to make the car crash.
Yeah.
And also the plane doesn't hit the car itself and kill everyone inside. So it's like, I don't know why they did that. Just I guess they wanted to make it more. I don't know. I guess they felt that was more scary. I guess, but no, I don't know. It didn't work.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
a weird decision amongst a few weird decisions that there are in the episode.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much like I said, it's a fine episode so far. Just like these sort of minor things that you're just not sure why, but yeah, who knows? Maybe once we get to the end episode, we'll look back at some of these things and see a bit more purpose. But I don't know.
Alrighty. Well, okay, well that was it in terms of Last of Us and recommendation, I think, because Jab hasn't
I'll
seen it
give-
yet. But to be
I
fair,
could
he doesn't
give
need
I could give an input
to.
based on what I've heard. So as we said, I haven't seen it, but I will see it. But anyway, the issue I'm having is I've discussed this with you guys before. It's in the common trap of we're going to adapt this nearly 1-to-1, and it kind of feels futile to that because you're always going to be compared to the original, and if you do it worse, especially given how critically acclaimed Last of Us is, it sets you up to be underwhelming.
Mhm.
And it's like a trap I think the God of War fix is going to be in. And that's why I feel like the Sonic films, for example, are successful as they are, or Castlevania on Netflix, or Cuphead, or Arcane, or Edge Runners, and so on. They take the elements that are within the franchise, but create something new out of it.
Mhm.
New yet familiar. This show isn't doing that, and it kind of feels like you're setting yourself up to failure. You're setting yourself a bar already that's difficult to deal with.
Yeah, especially when they say it's the greatest story in gaming, which is not, but they say that.
I'm just for my hammering. Like the one thing I find odd is that, well, I guess odd, but more so funny. But Last of Us gets this like utterly 1-to-1 adaptation to a point where like it feels redundant to even remake it in the first place because it's so close. Like you just play the games instead.
Yeah.
And Uncharted, which is Naughty Dog's second big, I guess, honestly even bigger than Last of Us, really got an adaptation which is basically nothing like the games in any sense at all. I just find that kind of funny that
Yeah, they kind of wild, kind of went wild in two different directions.
Yeah, that the one franchise that actually could do a pretty good like sort of adaptation where like you could just do a random adventure and it would still work.
Yeah, the way you do Uncharted is like you just create a new adventure in the middle of the other ones set in the games, right?
Yeah, it's basically just you just do like a random adventure film, but just make it a bit more Uncharted. Where and the film didn't do that. Whereas here instead, it's just telling the exact same story.
Yeah, obviously
Or,
it's
like,
like they've made a few changes in the show, but it's like the main plot beats have been the same. It is just it's confusing the little
yeah,
changes
well, like
they made.
the common thing I've heard from you lot is that it's basically the game but longer.
Yeah,
It's weird. They're doing a Jack and Daxter movie. I'm like, okay.
that's weird. But the one thing I want to say first off, you guys in chat saying you guys need to react to Film Theory and Spider-Man No Way Home. That is the second video in line today. So if we have time, we will. It just depends on how long we take on this Sonic video, which probably won't be long because it's MatPat. So there's usually not much to talk about other than laughing at him being silly. But the point that I want to make is that if I were making like a Last of Us show, I don't understand why you would just retell the same story because it's already been told that you already say it's like the greatest story in gaming, right? So why wouldn't you just like do a spin-off in the like a TV show in the same universe but without the same characters? Just tell a different story on a different part of America, for example. You know, kind of how Walking Dead had that spin-off show. I forgot the name.
It had Fear the Walking Dead, I think it was called.
Yeah, that's not the one I was thinking of, but Fear the Walking Dead is another one. It's because they did another one recently. New World or something. Something like that. But yeah, Fear the Walking Dead was another one that was just in another part of America, exploring how the world functions there. Like you can just do something like that. Like you can explore the world building that you already have further by having and creating new characters without just being like, oh, let's retell the same story. It's probably what I would do if I were making a Last of Us show. I don't see the point in just retelling the same story. But alas, that is what they did, and that is what a lot of these video game adaptations do for some reason. Because it's like if you look at Arcane, for example, it's just telling a story that's so different from the game. Like obviously there are elements they got from the game, but they had the freedom to just change a lot of stuff to tell their own story. Especially because League of Legends isn't the most like lore heavy thing, like story driven game, so they had a bit more freedom, and it's kind of why I think that and like Sonic and shit like that like functions really well, or Mario might, because they have a very baseline idea of like, okay, this is what a Mario story should be, a Sonic story should be, and we just go from there, but we can tell our own story within that framework basically. So yeah,
it's like what God of War is going to do, where it's straight up just adapting the 2018 game when like. First off, if you're gonna adapt God of War, surely you should start at the first game, because that would make more sense for that to be the start. But also, you could just do like adapt like the comics where he goes to Egypt or something. Just like do sort of anything, but instead you have to just adapt one of the games one for one.
Why not?
It's very limiting, if you ask me.
Why not do a series that is set between when he leaves Olympus and such?
Yeah, exactly.
And Norbit.
Basically, like get Christopher Judge, have him go from Greece to I think he does go to Egypt in the comics, then to like Norway and that. Just do that. That will at least justify his existence. Just a remake of one of the games, it just feels pointless.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they're gonna do, well, if they did do a show that's like between Greece and Norway, they probably wouldn't touch like Egypt, because I imagine they want to save that for the games, because they've been saying for even before they started doing Norway, it's been very clear that they want to do Egypt, and I think it does seem that the most common sort of theory is that the next set of games is going to be in Egypt. So, but either way, there is definitely a lot of story you can tell there between those two times, because like he does, Kratos as a character does change a fair bit in that time. You know, like he's got a whole new family, Fucking do that. Like how he meets Faye and stuff like that. There's loads you could do. He's very complicated. He's a very complex sort of character. There's especially in that time period, there's a lot you can do. But him sort of reflecting on the things he's done during sort of the Greek saga and sort of how with Faye he sort of learns to go towards a more peaceful sort of path.
Yes. I've not played the games, but yes. Alright, well, now, with that out of the way, MatPat. This video, picked specifically because of Jeb, is a film theory saying that Sonic is dying of hunger in the Sonic the Hedgehog films. Which I assume is just gonna be like, because he runs so fast, his metabolism needs to ingest like a lot more food, and that's gonna be the point. Right? Like
I
every
assume so.
single every single thing about like having superhuman strength and speed would talk about. So I imagine it's just that.
Hello, Internet!
Welcome to Film Theory.
The show that's really excited to show you my new Sonic OC.
Get out of there. Come on. Oh, come on. Get out of there. Get out of there, you trash pandas.
You know, Loyal Theorists, it's been a minute
I don't.
Huh?
Okay, I don't really understand what
Cool.
joke he was making, but good for you, MatPat.
since I've gotten to talk about my favorite blue, weirdly humanoid hedgehog.
Oh, you want me to go fast? Ugly Sonic goes slow.
Nope, not that one. So
Why was that a film? Why was was it Chip and something?
Dale.
Chip and Dale. Yeah, why was that a film? What did we as a species allow that to happen? I don't know.
some things are best left forgotten forever. Nope, I'm talking about the other Sonic, the cute Sonic. The Sonic that's one part meme, one part recycled jokes.
But I am not watching Snow Dogs again. That movie is the worst. Thank you so much for hiring Mona Lisa. It means so much to me, even though honestly she is the worst.
See, it's not
Okay. I mean, sure. I guess the film did reference a joke from a TV show. Well done, MatPat.
copying your old material if the kids watching never saw the original stuff. John Ro-
No, I don't think he's copying. I assume if he's done the same material before, it's a reference, right?
What is our reference these days?
That's true, Jeb. What is a reference? It's like there's a lot of community references in Rick and Morty. Are you saying that Dan Harmon is just reusing jokes? To be fair, sometimes he does. He does the exact same jokes from Community and Rick and Morty. But I assume he's just referencing his own work for people who are fans of his, who can go like, hey, I understand that. I appreciate that you're paying homage to something I like.
Ralphio is having
Dear Lord, hey, it's the guy who learned the word sophistry is in chat. He used the word again. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you that you learned this word and you used it like 3-4 times in like 2 days, man. Like, genuinely, every single thing you've said to us has the word sophistry. I get it, bro. I mean,
gotta see this comment.
You've not used the single, like, argument against us. You've just repeated that we're soy boys or effeminate sounding guys and just people that I guess Hollywood thinks their audience is. I don't know what you said, something like that. And then you use the word sophistry in the second sentence of those 3 comments. Well done, man. You learned a new word.
The soy boy take on Critical Drinkers video was that it was a bad video.
Yeah, I mean, that video was
So-
garbage, but for some reason, people really got upset about us. Well, that's like one of our most watched streams in like a long time, and it has like our worst like to dislike ratio ever. It's like 69%, which nice, but like, damn. Right, I think it's our worst, probably. Oh no,
No, I think
it actually
I don't think it
isn't.
is.
When we covered funny, that's funny. When we cover As in ECUM 36, that has a worse like to dislike ratio. It's a 60.9%. That's
Yeah, but-
hilarious. It had to be these two, right? Imagine being in our audience and like coming in and being like, man, I can't believe you guys dislike Draker and As. People are very funny to me. I'm sorry, but
To be
people are
fair, I didn't
silly.
even realise Rowan existed until I heard sophistry used like 20 times as if they
Yeah,
have
it's in every
dementia.
single comment. It's so funny. Oh man.
I loved the dementia on display.
Yeah. Just being like, see, you might just not say fallacies, because that what it means is she was fallacious arguments, right? Fallacious? I don't. I'm thinking about the word in Portuguese, but you know what I mean.
I'd be interested in seeing what arguments was
Fallacious
fallacious.
arguments. That's it. The use of fallacious arguments, especially with the intention of deceiving. Yeah, and it's like I don't really think we did that with Drinker's video. I think we just watched it. And his points were terrible, and he didn't have any examples to like back them. But whatever.
I don't need to try and deceive people on Drinker. He kind of, shoots himself in the foot every 5 seconds
Yeah.
with his videos because they're rushed.
Yes.
His streams, however, are a bit better depending on the guests.
Yeah, when he doesn't stream with the Fandom Menace people, it is way better.
Having himself some big brain time right there. Anyway, with Sonic Frontiers getting itself some positive reviews and a new Sonic TV show coming out this December.
Sorry, I have to tackle that comment. I'm so sorry. The 5 Ds of dodgeball. Any point he has: duck, dive, dodge, dip, and dodge. Okay. So he said modern Hollywood hated men. What did I do? I got the top 10 grossing films of 2022 that had high praise for men, and so I thought more starred men at work criticized.
Well, are you saying
and
we
kept
dodged
citing
his
more
fucking his fucking voice? We watched his video and we responded to it. People were upset that we were responding to him too much. They were pausing too much. What are you talking about?
Name a point that we dodged. That's what I'd be interested. Give one
He
example.
barely made any points.
Seems like someone's got a case of sophistry.
Sophistry.
I'm not even going to say it properly. I just don't care now.
Sophistric, autistic. Ayo. It's a joke.
Okay.
Thanks, Zod. I needed someone to laugh at that.
December
Really? You? Yeah. Is that so difficult to believe?
now seem like
Why is that a... Why did you put that clip? Nobody finds it difficult to believe that Sonic's getting a TV show, MatPat.
It's like his 5th one.
Yeah. Okay, MatPat.
the perfect time to revisit the old blue blur. Suck on that, game theory. Sonic is ours now. And whether it's in games,
That's kind of a funny joke, actually. I appreciate it, MatPat.
movies, comics, or TV shows, one core part of Sonic's
You just said TV shows. Then you were... Okay, whatever.
lore is his insatiable love of chili dogs.
Oh yeah, I forgot he
In
does
fact,
that in the
it comes
film.
up a lot with Sonic.
Actually, so I'm going to actually go on the contrary here.
Mm.
It's only recently come up a lot for Sonic. Until Sonic Unleashed, his love for cheat dogs was never mentioned in the games. It came from that show he's showing now. It was until Unleashed that we started getting the chili dog stuff.
Interesting.
That was 2008.
This is why we decided to watch this video, because we have Jeb here to fact check literally everything. Because for some reason
Yes.
his brain has the capacity to store all the Sonic knowledge, all this useless Sonic knowledge.
Basically, in the game, you could buy cheat dog as an actual item, but you also got hot dog missions, which is defeat this many enemies, get this many rings, yada yada yada, and you get a different chili dog for the hot dog missions you do, depending on the culture, and they're revolved around that culture. So you get a kind of like a cold one in Holoska, for example.
It's different chili dogs depending on the culture. That's hilarious.
One of them's called Breezy Dog, and that's in is it Atopos? Atopos, yeah. Apatos? It's one of the two.
More ink, really.
Okay, I get it. You don't need to show me more
Yeah,
clips.
That's
Yeah.
character development, right, guys? That's how you make a well-rounded character. You give him a quirky trait, and then you just...
Dear Lord, Matt, what do you have against Sonic? Why can't you just add a trait of like he likes chili dogs? What's the problem? He seems so like offended by Sonic as a character, because he even said earlier how Sonic in the films is just 50% recycled jokes and 50% memes, which is untrue, especially in the second film. I'm very confused.
It hurts.
I appreciate Zod's comment in chat.
repeat
You're welcome.
times over and over again. That's what I think. Music man. Anyway, the dude is
Oh, at least he's self-aware enough to know that he's reusing his own jokes all the time, and that also doesn't count as like substantive.
times over and
He-
over again. That's what I think. Let's
Like with the
roll
type-
out, music man. Anyway, the
And
dude
then FNAF, yeah, okay. I appreciate the
What's-
self-awareness.
What's annoying is he exaggerated how much chili dogs is used to go, hey, this is Sonic's favorite food. But I'm also like, no shit that you will see chili dogs quite often for him, given he's a starring character. It's not like Knuckles with grapes, that's his favorite food, where they go every game. I think that's only referenced in Sonic's 3 instruction manuals, Sonic Generations, and Sonic Movie 2.
Right.
If that was mentioned a lot, I'd get it, but not with Sonic, he's the star character.
is always eating. But when you think about it, it makes sense. Any character that's gotta go fast is gonna need a constant influx of calories to keep his body moving. That's just a trope of super powerful characters across all media types. Goku's always eating everything that's put in front of him. The Flash is always munching on something, going so far as to call himself a black hole of snacks.
In the show, I think they kind of dropped that after like season 1, right? Because I think he mentioned it in the beginning of season 1, but I don't remember.
They give him, they make him like a bar thing that's enough calories.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that now.
But I don't like this going. Sonic should go under the same standards because this seems like where he's going. When Sonic's quite different to other speed characters in general, anyway.
I mean, he's an alien, right? So I mean,
Yes, he canonically he is an alien.
so yeah.
Exercise requires energy. Otherwise, you know you're gonna be getting hangry after
I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna compare it to. He's gonna get stats for how much calories like a hedgehog from Earth needs, and then gonna change it, do the math to change it for like the size of Sonic, and then see how much he would need, and then see how much energy he would spend running that fast and shit like that, and then see how much he would need to eat, and then realize that he can't eat that much because he doesn't. He would need to be eating all the time. That's gonna be the conclusion of this video. I just predicted the entire video. You're welcome.
Wow, that was such a hard prediction.
Thank you, Jeb. I'm proud of myself.
leg day. If there's one thing that Sonic doesn't do, it's skip leg day. Don't be fooled by the noodle knees. To move the miles he's running, those licorice legs have got to be a mountain of muscle. So today,
It needs to stop showing that Sonic with the muscly legs because it looks very off-putting.
want to know
It's
how
also-
many
Sorry.
It's also like he goes speed creates energy, but that's the energy. The reason for that is because you're exerting energy. Sonic isn't really trying when he's run. That's his natural speed. He doesn't have to accelerate to that point, right?
Mm.
So he's not exerting as much energy as, let's say, me or you, for example. The Flash has to exert a lot of energy on himself because he's not naturally built that way. He's still, human.
Yeah.
Sonic is literally evolutionary, designed that way. And that's why in Sonic 2, the film, for example, when you do push and make him exert, he starts to get weary and collapses.
Yes.
chili dogs does Sonic the Hedgehog? What absurd number of chili-coated cheese-slathered pork sausage knot sandwiches would our favorite anthropomorphic blue hedgehog have to consume to run the insane distances and speeds we see him go?
Maybe he just stores way more energy than a normal hedgehog. Yeah, that's possible. I just
He
think,
also-
to be fair, a lot of MatPat's theories rely on, obviously we're gonna ignore these inferences and just see how this works on, looking, what if this thing actually existed. Like his video about the pickle Rick. It's like, is it actually possible to transfer your consciousness to a pickle? Because it's like, obviously, in Rick and Morty, whether or not it is realistically possible, it doesn't matter. But MatPat wants to do that, which is, I think, is like a fine way of doing it. I just don't like how it seems like it's like this big brain type of thing for his videos. I assume it's fine. I think it's fine if he's just being like, for this video, we're gonna assume that he's not gonna Sonic the Hedgehog can't store more energy than you would assume that a normal hedgehog would, or something like that.
I hope he makes a reference to Unleash because that's the only game where you actually do eating as Sonic.
Right.
So I hope he references that because that's where you'd go off. But we'll see.
Going in the new Sonic movies. That's right, loyal theorists. Today is a classic old school science episode. Fire up the grills because Sonic's hungry. So before we begin to imagine the small country's worth of very unhappy pigs we'll be needing to feed Mr. the Hedgehog, let's actually identify what we need to know here. First, we need to know how fast Sonic is moving in these films.
My god, just saying different names for Sonic isn't funny, MatPat. To be fair, I did that joke with Shang-Chi a lot, but, you know, I don't have 15 million subscribers. 11 million, sorry. I thought this channel would have more, but, you know.
Shang-Cha, yeah.
Yes, Chad.
I'm original.
Using this, we can calories he's burning when he's running. Then we find out how many calories are in the sorts of chili dogs that Sonic eats. And finally, with some simple math, we calculate how many of those dogs he needs to consume. To kick things off, we're going to actually use this clip from the beginning of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, where Sonic thwarts the robbery.
That's really weird. Why not use the clip in Sonic 1 where I think it actually gives an actual number. You know, when he's with the speedometer.
Doesn't it like
pass
blow
on.
the speedometer or something? Like it kind of malfunctions because of how fast he actually is.
Oh, that'll still give you a baseline then, because that means you have to go over the limit it has, which I think is 999.
Yeah.
I'd still use that as a start point.
Maybe he'll mention it. No.
I hope so.
armored truck. We chose this one specifically because it gives us a look at both Sonic snacking on a chili dog as well as a prolonged sequence where he's running. To summarize, he's able to head down to the street from the top of a building and then run what looks to be 3 city blocks to catch up with an armored truck, all in exactly 9 seconds. So how fast is Sonic moving here? Well, there are plenty of ways to figure this out. First, let's try to pinpoint exactly where Sonic is to get an idea of how much ground he's covering. Thankfully, the movie makes it super easy for us. Seattle doesn't get more obvious than that. According to the urbanist...
I mean, yeah.
I'll give it back.
Yeah, that's an alright joke.
.org, Seattle city blocks are roughly 240 feet long, or about 73.2 meters. So by running 3 city blocks, Sonic has covered a total distance of 720 feet, or 220 meters.
Imagine using feet to measure stuff. It's very cringe. Do you guys use the metric system for distances like that in the UK, or are you cringe?
What, do we use feet?
Yeah. Like he's saying, like, oh, city blocks, it's 720 feet. Would you use feet or would you use meters there?
We traditionally use meters, but there's some like rare circumstances where we would use feet. I can't recall which ones, but we tend to use meters.
That's cringe.
Is worth noting that he zigzags a bit to weave in and out of traffic, which would add a couple of extra feet here and there, but for simplicity's sake, and because it's not going to affect our final conclusion, we're just going to use that 700.
What about those times where Sonic does bullet time? Does that just throw this all out the window? I mean, he's still moving at a certain speed there, because like things are still happening. I assume because that's like as fast as he can go, but he doesn't always go that fast, right? When he's running, so MatPat just wants you to do like a baseline like of how fast he is, which is like this. He's probably going fast here, but not the fastest he can go. You know, like where he basically stops time in Sonic 1.
If you want to go that route, you might as well go with Supersonic. Supersonic, whilst it's not explicitly shown, would be faster than normal Sonic.
720-foot figure. So simple math here, rate equals distance divided by time. If Sonic ran 720 feet in 9 seconds, that translates to a speed of about 54.5 miles per hour or 87.8 kilometers per hour. Next up, we're gonna need Sonic's weight. Now, the weight of fictional characters is always a bit tricky on these channels, but fortunately, Sega has historically been very public with this information. Back in 2000...
What? That's funny, actually. They did no bit from the public his actual weight.
It is true. For some reason, Sega like doing these quirky things with Sonic where they're like, his middle name's this or his weight's this. It's like with Eggman in the Sonic Heroes manual, I think. They basically goes, Eggman's a feminist.
Oh. That's funny.
I know.
To be fair, that is kind of neat if you have these little details, because if you read extra info, you get like, a bit of extra entertainment. That's fun. I like that.
I
5,
agree.
Sega of Japan released the Sonic Channel, an official website dedicated to updates about the characters, games, comics, TV shows. You could download wallpapers. There were even some simple browser games mixed in there. Basically, this thing was a fan wiki before fan wikis existed. And on that old Sonic Channel website, Sega listed Sonic's canonical weight as 77 pounds or 35 kilograms. Done and done, right? Wrong! It is never that easy when you work on these channels. Never. See, across the sea.
Oh my god, the FNAF. He still does those videos, right? That's depressing.
Yeah, he still does. Yeah, the playlist that has like the FNAF videos, it gets updated like every month with a new one, which this is just a new thing in the
I wonder how
series,
well
or
these
just
do, considering, how
Well,
much.
it's basically his cash cow, to be honest. Like, it's his most popular thing because everyone loved the theories back in the day, and it's just new FNAF stuff. Even though like both the series and the theories are kind of dropped off a cliff.
Classic MatPat.
Series, there are different versions of Sonic, all with different heights. Explicitly shows us that just because we're always dealing with the same character, Sonic is not always the same.
I can't believe there's 2 of me.
Sometimes they talk, sometimes not. Sometimes they're tall, sometimes not. The stats on the Sonic Channel website appear to be referring specifically to the Sonic from the adventure games and spin-offs. So if we want
I mean, to be fair, I would assume that Sonic from the films is just like that main version of Sonic, right? Like adapting from it. I would just assume that. I wouldn't look that hard into it to be like, oh my god, it's like a super different Sonic.
I wish there was a main version of Sonic. The closest to a main version we get is actually the current one, because that's been around since post 06. But this seems to be in between classic and modern. So I would go a bit below 35 kilos.
Right.
Because he's also a child. He would have to be quite a dense child.
Oh, here
He's
it says
15
he's
in there.
15, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they make Sonic younger in the films, or at least depict him that way, because Sonic's quite mature at 15 in Sonic Adventure 2.
I like that his real name is Sonic the Hedgehog, and his English name is just Screaming Sonic the Hedgehog. It's in all
I
caps.
know. But yeah, there's no quote unquote main model for Sonic. It's not like Mario, unfortunately.
Right.
That's why Sonic Adventure model looks very different to Sonic Unleashed. Sonic Unleashed looks different to 06. It's quite a mess.
Oh, that's fair then.
But
to be as accurate as possible, we should aim for data from the movie Sonic specifically. Thankfully, we can find the exact data we need thanks to capitalism. You see,
What?
in the lead up to the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie release, Sonic did a press tour where he was interviewed by the kids' YouTube channel CKN.
I can't believe this is actually real. I'm losing my mind. What the fuck? This sounds like a shitpost. No way. No
this is why I love
way.
Sonic. It'll do shit like this.
That's fucking amazing.
Today, we're gonna have an exclusive interview with Sonic.
Eat your heart out, Phil DeFranco. I don't see you landing those guests. Anyway, near the end of the video, Sonic drops...
Didn't was it Hot Ones that had like an animated character recently? I thought it was really neat.
Boots, yeah.
Puss in Boots, yeah, it was Puss in Boots. Yeah, it was great. It was fun. I like that.
this truth bomb.
I weigh 62 pounds, and it is very rude of you to ask.
I didn't ask you that question, Sonic.
But I did. Thank you, Sonic.
That's hilarious. Imagine Sonic just says something completely unrelated to what the kid said. And the kid went, I didn't ask you. Oh my god, I kind of want to watch that video now. That sounds so funny.
So, Jeb, why do you like Sonic? Oh, I wonder.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but that was hilarious. This video's turning me into a
Starts with
Sonic fan,
children.
yeah. I didn't ask you that question, Sonic. Amazing.
Like, no ask for someone's weight, but being slightly rude is worth it for the science. So that's about as accurate as you can possibly.
I still find it. I mean, obviously, I get why it can be a bit rude, because obviously people who have issues with their body image and everything. But
Skill issue.
yeah, it's just I always found it like weird being well, I guess maybe my brain's kind of thinking of like that and relating it to like people who are like, oh my god, you should never ask someone their age. I'm like, why not? Who cares? It's your age. Like, why is that like a personal thing that you're like defensive over, you know? But I don't know why my brain just went there. Yeah, let's continue the video.
Again, coming directly
Hey, introverted robot.
mouth, which means that we can take all of this later. 62 pounds, running 720 feet in 9 seconds. Drum roll, please. In this scene, Sonic has burned himself a whopping 2 calories.
Okay.
Hold on. What? Two calories. I basically burned the same amount sitting on the couch waiting for a Sonic 06 loading screen. Considering an average chili cheese dog has roughly 412 calories, that means that this bite that Sonic takes right here would be more than enough to cover his sprint down the street.
That's no good.
Now,
Just tackle something what CR Paul said. Sonic Adventure does not mean modern Sonic. To give proof to that, you've got Sonic Generations, and people go the modern era, the Adventure era, the classic era. Modern Sonic is considered, as I said, technically 06 onwards, but the model is 08 onwards. So Adventure era is kind of Dreamcast Sonic. That's what people tend to call it, or Teen Sonic, I guess. I have a girlfriend.
You got her by telling her Sonic facts. Apparently, Ewan McGregor said he hopes to return as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I don't.
That's a
I
shame.
was hoping you were saying Ewan McGregor wants to be in Sonic 3.
He's gonna play Eggman's son. That would actually
Eggman
be
has a
really
son
fun.
now.
Imagine that, like having Jim Carrey and Ewan McGregor as father and son in a Sonic film. I would love that.
I'd be very confused because Eggman doesn't have a child.
Oh yeah, and you can't create a new character in adaptations. Okay, Jeb. Okay.
Why would you make Eggman have a child? He's kind of asexual.
Why not?
He's egg sexual.
He's egg-sexual. He fucked an egg while in Sonic's homeworld, and that birthed Ewan McGregor. What doesn't
I
make
hope
sense, Jeb?
I hope Jim Carrey does like the whole joke of Eggman embracing the name to get back at Sonic, because that iteration of Eggman's perfect to do that with Jim Carrey.
No good.
Now, while the result might initially be surprising, when you actually think about what we just calculated, it makes a lot of sense. Sonic weighs 60 pounds, not very heavy, and we only calculated the amount of calories he's burning in 9 seconds of intense.
Yeah, I mean, that was obvious. I think the point is you'd have to see how much he like would run on an average day, I suppose, and see how many calories he would burn on that. But you can't really say how much he would be on an average day, because you don't know what an average day in Sonic's life really is, right? So to be fair, he does run a lot, like even inside the house, and go at super speed. So maybe you can get a little of an idea in Sonic 2 when Tom leaves, perhaps. I don't know.
Exercise. Sure, he was sprinting real hard in those 9 seconds, but it was only 9 seconds for the lightweight 60-pound hedgehog. As a result, the caloric burn for Sonic is ridiculously low here. So is that it then? Is the big twist here that Sonic only needs like 8 chili dogs to power all his antics throughout the entirety of the film franchise? Absolutely not. This is a combination film, game, and food theory all wrapped up into one.
Fuck, I forgot he has the food theory channel. Remember when we covered that? And they had what the fuck was the video? It was like, fuck, they didn't have to do something with Thanos and fucking what's the name of the jar character? I first forget. The oh yeah thing.
I don't know.
The Kool-Aid Man.
Kool-Aid Man, thank you.
Oh, okay. I was very confused then. I had no idea what any of that meant.
You are silly. But yeah, when he created the channel, we covered this video. Was his 5th video. Kool-Aid Man is a Marvel villain. That's it. That's why I remember Thanos in it, because it's the it's in the the thumbnail. But yeah, Kool-Aid Man is a Marvel villain. That was the video. That was wild.
Oh, that was like a drug trip. I needed a second to process my sanity.
Yeah, that video was insane. Is that... Hey Jeb, are you excited for Kingdom Hearts 4?
Like, on a serious note, yeah, I just don't know why I was tagged in that. My mum got a PS5 solely for that, so if anything, she's more excited.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen any of the accounts that have been tagged here other than you. Just for context, people who are not seeing my screen, someone posted who's all excited for Kingdom Hearts 4 with like a video under it, and then in in reply to it, they tagged like 100 people, and Jab's in the middle of that, and I have no idea why. And Jab doesn't either, because we've never seen this person before, so that's why I asked.
Have I, aside from when it was announced, have I even fucking mentioned Kingdom Hearts 4? I don't know.
Maybe they saw that tweet and they remembered you. Who knows?
Why didn't they tag Fran or something?
Yeah, Fran makes more sense as well. But yeah, food theory is a thing. We covered them when the channel started, so I don't know actually when that was, but that was a long time ago. Maybe that was when we had Chase on, so maybe don't watch that stream.
Because there was a whole thing how he left because of the video, like it broke him.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's true. So maybe don't watch that stream. But I mean, do,
Yeah,
but don't. You know, do because it's us. Don't because it's Chase. All right.
Watch the edited highlights where he's conveniently edited out.
Yes, we did that for sure. What the Oh. No, because that was the Among Us strats. Wait, so which one was it? Was it the Our Lives Outdated Game Design? Oh yeah, and some MatPat. That's the name of the stream. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay.
Hey yo, woo! Thank you for the super chat. I forgot the word. Thank you for the super chat, poser. I'm gonna be exposing Mad Africa for not reading my last donation. Wait, did he not read your last donation last night? I'm if he didn't, I'll let him know, I guess. But I watched the entire stream. I didn't see a last donation. Well, I didn't see the whole stream, but I watched most of it. So that's interesting. Kingdom Farts. Kingdom Farts 4 hasn't gotten anything since that teaser. Jeb would know.
No, it hasn't because it's in very early development. It's had like mentions by, I think his name's Nomura. It's mainly been focused on Kingdom Hearts Missing Link because that's the next title.
He didn't. Oh my god. I'll let him know then, poser. But I didn't know that. All right. Well, anyway. I just realized that we've been paused on like a chili dog with Ultra Theorists flag like planted on it, and that's like a very funny visual to me. I don't know why. It's just so stupid. But anyway, let's continue.
I can't just leave it at that. We need a scene where he's running faster and running longer. I mean, if we go back and watch this whole Seattle street scene again, it's clear that Sonic isn't running as fast as he can. This is fun for him. It's not urgent.
Oh, he is going to say what I said.
What happens when Sonic loses control and uses more of his power? By running full speed, he likely would have shut down Seattle's power grid with the electromagnetic pulses he's able to generate. So I went back to pick a better moment from the movies. Honestly, there are a ton of different scenes here that we could choose from to make these sorts of calculations. I mean, in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic basically crosses an ocean's worth of water. And at the end of Sonic the Hedgehog 1, he moves so fast that from his perspective, bullets and missiles are basically frozen in midair. That said, getting hard numbers from those scenes is difficult. We don't get an idea of how far Sonic is moving out into the water, or a true sense of his speed since everything has slowed to a crawl. But
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
the closest you get is calculate the speed of the missiles by gauging what missile type they are.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, but I assume that it's even not even that reliable because it's like Eggman missiles, right? They're not gonna be like the exact same as in the real world.
Or this side, so we've actually seen them fire real time. So you calculate how much they're doing in real time.
Oh
and then see the
yeah,
difference
because
they're
you have
moving in that.
a few frames, right, where you can calculate that.
Exactly, that's what you do.
Yeah, because you have the speed in frames per second as opposed to however log it is, but if you have Sonic's height, you can calculate like comparatively, because I'm pretty sure he would show up in that same frame where the missiles are fired. So that's probably what you do ideally.
And then you just do a simple conversion. To be honest, MatPat could do that. I know he can.
He
I
might.
don't blame him. I don't blame him if he doesn't want to, but
Yeah.
it is your method.
Alright. Well, Madvocate said apparently that you donated right after the stream ended, so that's that's the reason why, poser. But anyway.
But there are scenes that give us all the information we need on a serious film theory we took a look.
Dear Lord, why is it skipping around? Watch together. Don't do this to me. Hold on. I don't know if it was for any of you three,
But there are scenes that give us all the information we need on a silver platter. In fact, in a previous film theory, we took a look at this scene from the first Sonic the Hedgehog, where Sonic runs 550 miles, or 885 kilometers, to the Pacific Ocean and back. He was able to do this in just 4 seconds, meaning
What?
that his...
Oh my god, Phil, why would you do something like this? He's way too fast. I wonder, because... Yeah, I'm gonna say with 2, but I'm gonna be rewatching Sonic 2 probably tonight, and yeah, I'm curious how it would hold up considering how fast Sonic is. Because if he's that fast, I'm worried that it's gonna kind of make him, you know, do a Barry and just not move as fast as he should, or something like that. So we'll see. Results will be if next stream Jab is still our friend or not. Because if I say this film doesn't hold up, I'm afraid Jab will have to leave us.
Sonic has the one advantage that Barry doesn't. So take, for example, he could... Well, no, he couldn't actually go faster when he's running on the snow. But if we were to use that as an example of his character, he very much enjoys the thrill.
Well, to be fair, in the snow, if he like runs that fast, I assume he'd be very worried about slipping, right? Like in that scene, because I assume in that moment he was like if I slip and fall at this speed, it's gonna be way worse than if I continue skiing down.
Exactly, but it's more so that he really loves trying to outrun things and like the sense of challenge. That's why he makes all the quips and such and the jokes, and he's like laughing.
Right, so he invites that challenge. That's a good point. Just poser, just real quick. Madvocate said in chat that he'd read out that donation at the beginning of the next stream, but I imagine you didn't see it, so if you are actually worried about Madvocate not reading your super chat, he will. So, yeah.
Speed is 200 miles per second, or 442 kilometers per second. Just to emphasize how fast this is in numbers that'll probably have more meaning to you, that's an astronomical 990,000 miles per hour, or 1.593 million kilometers per hour.
Remember when I calculated how fast Barry would go when he goes to the what's the name? The
Great Wall of China.
Great Wall of China, yeah. And then I think Madvocate pointed out something where he goes even faster, and I was like, oh my fucking god, how fast is he? And figured out he goes so fast that he could like run around the world in like a few seconds. The math I did there that day was funny, because it's like it is so fast that there's no point of him ever losing anything ever in that show, but he does. He kills his own wife because he decided not to run. It's fun.
Going back to Dandy online calculator here, we plug these numbers in, and with that, we find that Sonic has burned a grand total of, second drum roll please,
it's gonna be underwhelming again. 1 calorie.
Apparently, during this incredible feat of strength, speed, and stamina, Sonic would have burned just 1 calorie. Nope, that definitely can't be right. What I think might be happening is that Sonic is moving at such insane speeds and traveling such impressive distances that the website is calculating that he's essentially running a 0-minute mile. It is literally rounding to 0, and therefore...
That's funny, actually. He's so fast that you can't even calculate it. That's funny. I mean, this video so far is pretty entertaining. I mean, the way he's doing it is kind of okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Given us calorie number. It's kind of like when you divide by 0 on your... So alrighty.
Holy shit, stop skipping around, watch together.
He's literally rounding to 0, and therefore giving us that 1 calorie number. It's kind of like when you divide by 0 on your TI-83 and it breaks the universe. Alrighty, boys and girls, roll up.
Wait, was that
those
frame
sleeves.
from Doctor Who?
Yes,
was
yes,
from-
it was.
I was gonna say because I recognized
yeah.
it.
I'm scared
It's
to
from.
criticize anything.
Is it from
the-
series 5?
Yeah,
the
Pandora
big bat-
opens, when the
Yeah,
universe
Pandora
ends.
opens.
Yeah.
I'm scared to criticize anything Sonic related from the joke. Well, don't be, because Sky tried raising legitimate queries about Sonic 2, and I was just completely calm.
Yeah, I mean,
Sonic-
to be fair, he was calm.
Sorry, Jimmy.
He was calm in text, but I'm sure he was fuming. He needed a car to calm him. Is you just
Like-
going to be the Sonic video today? I don't think so because we're 5 minutes away from finishing it. We've watched it pretty fast, so I think we're gonna cover his No Way Home video as well.
It's worth knowing, Introverted Robot. I'm a Sonic fan, so I'm used to hearing about 50 million criticisms for the franchise.
You see, what actually happened was when Sky criticised it earlier, Jeb actually killed her, and this is an AI recreation of her.
That's true. That's true.
Don't criticize Sonic 2.
All right. Anyway.
Alrighty, boys and girls, roll up those sleeves because we're doing this the hard way. To manually calculate how many calories Sonic is burning in the scene, we're gonna have to figure out his metabolic equivalent of task, or his MET. So to understand what this is, let's first talk about metabolisms. Your metabolism is a set of life-sustaining chemical reactions that convert food into energy usable by your body. Basically, it takes the chili dogs that you're stuffing in your face and rips the calories out to charge up your cells. Different people have different metabolisms, meaning that they
Yes.
burn calories at different rates. Now,
Yes.
this is a massive oversimplification of some really complex biology, but some bodies are really good at taking those calories from chili dogs and burning them while you exercise, meaning that they can more easily keep
I try to remember. Isn't there something that like kind of established that a character has a metabolism where they can't get drunk and then they get drunk in a later installment? For some reason, I have that in my head.
The Flash. It's the Flash.
Oh, it was the Flash, yeah, where he gets drunk and he starts telling people he's the Flash, right? That scene, amazing scene. You showed me it. It was funny.
Now, do you want to know why he gets drunk? It's because they made him a special drink that could make him drunk.
Oh, I mean,
Somehow.
I guess that's. I mean that drink needs to be like literally like 100% pure alcohol, and he'd have to drink gallons of it, right? I really don't understand how that would work, unless it's literally like he takes like some ecstasy or something, like a drug that literally has an effect on his brain chemistry, as opposed to like alcohol that's like digested like by your kidneys and shit like that. I don't know exactly how it would work. Well, to be fair, alcohol, because alcohol, I don't know actually how alcohol works, so I don't know how you would make a drink that actually works on Barry.
I'd assume it'd be the case, yeah, of not allowing the kidneys to basically wash away the toxins.
So they gave him a drug that made his kidneys stop working, and then they put him in his drink, and then they got him drunk. That's yes, we figured it out, guys. We figured out the science of the Flash.
Yay.
keep weight off. Others tend to hold on to those calories longer.
Probably made a
Wait
meth
and
flavored
hold
drink.
onto it. As
Meth
such, one way to
flavor.
manually calculate how many calories a body burns is to figure out the metabolic equivalent of task. 1 MET is equal to 1 calorie burned per kilogram of body weight per hour of exercise. Now, there are tons of ways to calculate 1 MET, as you see on the screen before you. You know what? I'm just going to let it sit up on screen instead of saying all that out loud. There's a lot of numbers and letters that you don't care about. So, while this looks like a super long or complex formula, we actually have everything we need to plug in numbers to get our answer here, specifically for that last part of the formula. For this, 1.162 times watts over kilograms, we already have Sonic's weight in kilograms. Since he weighs 62 pounds, that's the equivalent of 28.1 kilograms. And
He's very, dear Lord, my voice broke. He's very, what's the word? Opposite of heavy. Light. It's very light. It's like, I swear, my brain today is not good. But 28 kilograms is kind of insane. To be fair, how tall is he? He's like a child's height, right?
Yeah, he's like, I think they actually do compare his size. He might be up to the stomach of Tom.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of fine, actually, because now that I think about it, that would be kind of what I weighed when I was that little, probably. So yeah, that's fine.
And figuring out the wattage Speedy runs is really easy. The formula for this is this gobbledygook. Watts equals 115.007 plus the quantity negative 15.8397 times speed plus another quantity 1.15006 times speed times speed.
Goodness
I don't know how people figured this out, but there it is. It's got a lot of numbers. I assume they're correct. So plugging in that 990,000 miles per hour or 1.593 million kilometers per hour figure.
Jesus Christ, that's insane. 1.593. Wait, sorry. Speed of sound is 343 meters per second. In kilometers per hour. Let me check. It's 1,234.8 kilometers per hour. He's like 1,000 times as fast. Fucking Christ. Absolutely insane. Jesus.
Sonic's Run to the Pacific produces 1,128,124,812.01 watts of power.
0.01
trillion watts. Okay, wow. All right, let's take this absurd number and plug it into our MET formula, shall we? Giving us 1.162 times these 1.127 trillion watts.
Calculator gotta be working real hard to do all this. Jesus Christ. You know what? I would never be able to make a video like this because I would just get confused when typing out the number, and I know I would mess something up and it would get me a wrong number. That's just how my brain works. I'm sure I would like skip a number and it would ruin the entire video. So good on you, MatPat. I mean, to be fair, probably wasn't you who did the research for the video, but you know, the people who work for you who did. Good on them.
All divided by grams. It's not gonna do anything. Running this through our magic number machine, otherwise known as a basic calculator app, that tells us that one MET for Sonic in the movie is 40,112,338,783.3. And remember, that's talking about how many calories Sonic burns per kilogram of his body weight per hour of exercise.
How are you not dead? I have no idea.
According to Smithsonian Institution,
That was a good use of a clip. Hey, you know what? Maybe MatPat's improving. You know, who knows? This video's actually been pretty alright. I'm proud of you, MatPat. Were you gonna say something, John? Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's actually using the Sonic information quite well.
Yeah.
And I'm very surprised because Sonic's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
average human body contains just 25,820.
Holy shit, stop! Stop jumping around! Watch together. Jesus fuck.
Burning through over. Sonic would be burning through over 3,000 human beings worth of calories. That is one heck of a Pilates class. But even with those crazy insane numbers, we're not done with all the mathy calculations yet. Now we can use this information to figure out how many calories Sonic burned during the 4-second run to the Pacific Ocean and back. If Sonic burned...
If that's per hour, you're gonna need to turn hour into seconds, and then you're gonna figure out how much he was in those 4 seconds. It's gonna be an interesting calculation. I'm curious what it's gonna be. It's still gonna be huge, right? Because the number is like a few billion per hour, well 40 billion per hour. Then all you need to do is divide it by 60, and then divide it by 60 and times 4. So yeah.
You know what's funnier? Compare this to Game Sonic, who is slower than Mario. This is quite funny.
He's slower than Mario?
According to game theory, yes, and the math actually holds up. Sonic would be slower than Mario.
That's hilarious.
If we use actual physics.
Burns those billion calories per 1 kilogram of body weight per 1 hour of exercise, we first need to multiply those calories by Sonic's 28.1 kilogram weight, getting us 1,127,158,100,000 calories burned per hour. Now we can take this number, divide it by 60 to get calories burned per minute, divide it by 60 again to get calories burned per second, and then multiply by 4, which gets us one final, drumroll please, I promise you, 1,252,397,888.89 calories burned in 4 seconds in order to run to the Pacific Ocean and back. With this, finally, we
Yeah, he actually didn't use like anything about like hedgehogs and how they store energy. So he's generally just doing like how many calories you'd burn and how much you'd need to compensate for that, and not actually doing like, oh, this type of species, needs this amount of calories per day, and then his body weight, and then everything like that. So I mean, good on you, because you're not like trying to translate this into like an actual like real life thing. You're generally just doing this for fun, MatPat. So yeah.
Can work out exactly how Sonic would need to eat to power even just an average chili cheese dog.
Even just what? Oh my god, stop. Watch together.
We can work out exactly how many chili dogs Sonic would need to eat to power even just 4 seconds of him running. Again, we know an average chili cheese dog has 412 calories, meaning that Sonic would need to eat 2,989,016.4. You know what? Let's just go ahead and round that one up to 2,989,017 chili cheese dogs, because, we know Sonic wouldn't dare waste food with leftovers.
So what were you expecting? A dirty little hedgehog eating berries and struggling to survive?
Well, not exactly, Sonic, but dang, I was not expecting almost 3 million chili dogs for just 4 seconds of running. On the whole, every American combined...
That American flag showing up was like a fucking jump scare. I was like, what the... Why did we suddenly become American? What's happening?
Eats like 20 billion hot dogs in a year, and Sonic would need to eat that many chili dogs if he was expecting to run for like 1 8-hour workday. You know what? Maybe all the government agents and scientists in these movies are right. Sonic is dangerous to our supply of Oscar Mayer wieners. Don't even ask how much this would cost.
Chili dogs? Forget it. Do you know how much chili dogs cost? Money don't grow on trees, you know.
But hey,
This is kind of a relevant clip, but it wasn't. The timing wasn't great. But hey, this video was fine. I'm okay with this video, MatPat. This is one of his best ones.
I can actually work out how much it costs.
I mean, yeah, you just find the average price of a chili dog, right? In America.
No, not. Yeah. We're doing it in Sonic's world, remember?
I mean, yeah, but I assume the price. I assume they don't have the price in the film for how much a chili dog costs.
In fairness, I'm not going by the film. This is the only discrepancy. Let me just see how much they are in Sonic Unleashed.
How much they cost in Sonic Unleashed? That's hilarious.
I think it's like 40 rings. I'm trying to remember. Might be 90. How much? Where is it? 50 rings. Okay, how many chili dogs was it in total? Like 2.7 million something?
Here, 2.989017.
Okay, 89017 times 50. So that means he is spending 149.450 million rings.
Jesus.
For 4 seconds worth. You could do that in Sonic Unleashed. So there's that.
Sure.
Jesus.
Fucking Christ. Alright. Let's just get to the let's just finish this video.
Your wieners. Don't even ask how much this would cost.
Chili dogs? Forget it. Do you know how much chili dogs cost? Money don't
oh my god.
Trees, you know?
But hey, we actually talk about Sonic a lot over here on Film Theory. I mean, he's basically a movie character now anyway, so if you want...
He is a movie character.
Do you want to know?
I assume he means that he's more of a movie character than a game character, which is... I don't know if I'd agree. Anyway, Jeff, go on.
Do you want to know how much for... If he's running like that for 24 hours, how many rings that would cost? 3 trillion... 200... Is it trillion? Let me count. Yeah, 3,228,138,360,000, and then divide that by 50 to get the how many chili dogs that is. That's 64.562 billion.
Quite a lot, I think. I feel it's more.
Yes,
it's more than I eat per day. I feel.
More this minute, you can check out our video talking about best Sonic. Or if you want something a bit different, you can check out our video explaining why the Sonic movies road trip is just a big old waste of our time.
I mean, I I could tell that by watching the film. That the entire sequence was, I did not like it. To be honest.
Fuck you. You know what, Sky? I think we've had enough of you as a host.
I'm sorry. I'm just kind of confused. How Film Theory Sonic. I'm curious what the point he makes in that video is.
I didn't want to hear you speak about.
That Sonic
Criticizing
wastes our
Sonic.
time. Is that it? I don't know what the point he's gonna make about that road trip is.
To be fair, the road
Doesn't
trip.
The science don't care about your quality. And time, remember, it's all just a theory. A film theory.
And cut. Whoa, we did it. Hey guys, what do you think of that video? That was actually pretty good. I'm impressed. Well done, MatPat.
It kept me engaged and allowed me to exercise my deep Sonic lore.
Alright.
My
Indeed.
favorite part about it is that it felt like a video. Where you'll open your laptop and watch it sort of video.
So true, Tim.
Yeah, insightful.
It's just that reference. Do people even remember it now? It's so old. I don't, just in terms of internet age. But you know what? I remember it, Tim. I remember it, so you don't have to, chat.
Oh, that's it. That's an even older reference.
But that one's a classic. Nobody's gonna ever forget it. What Harry Styles said about a film you starred in, I don't think people really care. Yeah, that was an alright video. The only reason we watched this was we were looking for videos to watch, and I went, sure, let's check MatPat's channel, and I saw Sonic video and I linked it, and Jeb was like, let's watch this because I'm too curious. So that's why. We actually have a more interesting video to cover. It all depends on if this person would join the call. I did tell him about this, so surely, hopefully, he can.
Can we react to the Flash trailer before that?
We could. There's an extended version of the trailer. The last time we did, our stream got copyright claimed, so we just gotta pause. We just gotta pause every 10 seconds, or like less than 10 seconds, because we played it for 18 seconds straight, and then the YouTube didn't like that. They did not appreciate it. I don't even know where that would be. Did you link it in the?
Let me get it.
Let's see. Flash Season 9 trailer extended. Let's see.
Got it.
Advocate. Hey, how you doing?
Right.
It's a minute long trailer, this one.
I found it on
good.
Twitter. Not Twitter. On YouTube. Advocate.
Hello.
Hello. How are
Hello,
you?
everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Good. What are we watching? We're watching
The
a
Flash
film theory
trailer.
video.
We're firstly gonna watch a Flash trailer because
we
Jeb
want
reminded me
Flash.
we haven't done this.
baby!
It's only something excitement.
Just a theory. A Flash theory.
I'm curious, is this just not the
Excellent.
same
Yeah.
trailer like looped in 30 seconds?
I kind of
No,
joked
it's not.
Yeah, it's
No.
a different one.
Alright, alright.
I've seen this
Oh
one.
really? Okay. Because I kind of joked about like watching the new longer one to Sky, I think, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, we'll watch it sometime." So I guess we're doing that.
Oh yeah, I said, are you free this Sunday to do it? Because we're gonna stream. You're like, oh, I'm not. I'm busy. Imagine being busy during ECUM hours. That's outrageous. But alright, I have a copyright cover on, so people, I'm sorry, but I kind of need to do this. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna do this because when I turn it into a video later, it'll fuck up with my
Yeah.
My
Just pause it really frequently, even
Yeah.
if we have nothing to say.
Yeah, it's just because that happened last time where we got claimed, and I did not want to do that to happen again. So but yes, Flash Season 9 trailer, the extended version.
Oh wait, I need to join the.
Of the
thing.
watch together. Yeah,
Where is it?
I forgot. You hadn't joined yet. Madvik, is he coming? Madvik is a fake Flash fan. Fake? Did you just hear his excitement to just be able to watch the Flash trailer? I think he's the realest Flash fan there is in this call, honestly.
I was the one that proposed us to watch the trailer.
Yeah, but Madvik was excited about it.
I'm always excited for the Flash.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's the kind of thing where, like, I really love Flash. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for, Season 9. Jesus Christ, I don't know if you guys
I
heard
might
that
cry, you
thunder
know.
from my microphone.
I
Sorry
I
about
didn't hear
that.
anything.
Yeah,
I
maybe
might
stream did.
cry
I'm just
if it
sorry because
ends.
genuinely, it is raining a lot. If it ends, Chad, are you saying the Flash is gonna go on after season 9, despite the fact that it's been canceled already?
It better.
When I last see Joe Barry, there's going to be some tears.
Saying goodbye to Goldface. That would be the hardest moment of my life.
Never forgiving Eric Wallace for teasing us, you know, edging us, if you will, when he said the Flash could easily go on for several more seasons after season 8 came out.
Yeah, that's
only
hilarious.
to immediately end it with one more.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
Pedophile.
Thanks, Jeff.
Oh.
So anyway, let's get going.
Woo.
You have been.
So my theory here
You
is that we're
have-
going to see a lot of Star Labs in this. I'm trying to find things to say so we don't get copyrighted.
It was just 5 seconds. You don't need to pause every 5 seconds. It's 10
My
seconds. is the
prediction
cutoff point.
is that Joe Barry was going to say, "You have an amazing power and responsibility."
And your dad's
That's my
dead.
prediction.
Have been through a lot.
He says you have been through a
Oh,
lot, so
shit.
I'm afraid
Damn
you're
it.
wrong, Madvika.
Bad start.
Oh, fuck.
In 9 years. And I'm very proud of you.
Hey, that's the old suit. Right? Yeah,
Was
that's
it?
the old suit, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
season
please
1.
tell me he's gonna use the good suit. I hate the new suit.
Yeah.
For some reason, people on Twitter, I've seen so many people being like, "Oh my god, the Flash suit from season 8 is the best superhero suit ever." And I'm like, what? It's garbage, especially the cowl.
I think just because it's so like vibrant and very comic booky.
That's kind of part of
Which-
what I hate about it. The red is
Yeah,
so
so-
vibrant. It looks
And it's
off.
and it's like very simple, which is what everyone wants these days.
One thing that
Yeah.
annoys me is that they can't actually take the cowl off after like pretend that it's all now techie because it's so freaking tight for grunge. Because it doesn't feel like a cowl, it just feels like, I don't know, I don't know, a word for something that's very skin tight on your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
No
tight
word for it.
hat.
Sorry.
Yeah, a
Tight hat.
It's not a Flash cowl, it's a flight tight hat.
Poser sent another super chat saying, "I'm going to expose you, Madvocate." Thank you for the super chat. I'm not sure Madvocate appreciates the threat.
I replied to you on Twitter. Don't worry about it.
but-
Please keep sending us super chats about your plan.
Yeah, if you don't
yes,
if you
yes.
don't believe me, just keep sending.
Yeah,
super
send
chat.
more super chats.
Please
Yes.
do.
Yes,
The
yes,
only
send
way
more
we're gonna
super
read
chats, yes.
what you're saying in chat is if you send super chats. Unfortunately, for some reason, YouTube doesn't show your chat. So
I'm not even sure what you could say since
Also-
literally what happened is you sent the super chat too late because it came in after the stream ended, and that's it.
Oh, hey, Sophisticatistic. How you doing?
Hey.
Um.
That's
hello.
quite funny after the joke earlier.
Oh yeah, I made a joke about your name earlier.
Not an autism joke, it's
No,
okay.
no. The joke was on the sophistic part actually, which is funny because you'd assume it would be on the other part. But anyway, I wanted to read this chat. What will Madvocate and the gang watch once Flash is over? I don't actually know. We've
The
had a
Flash.
few ideas. If they actually make the Wong show, it's that 100% because it's the Wong show. But that'll take a while.
What
for
I
it to
feel like
happen.
that's gonna come out in like 5 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it comes out, it's not
Yeah.
gonna be now. Like even the Agatha show isn't coming out like soon. But anyway,
Jeez.
so if you guys want us to watch a show, if you have any ideas, suggest them because we're open for it. I think it came up
The
with a good
Flash.
idea. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I don't actually know what exactly we will watch once Flash is over, but we're not gonna figure it out until Flash is over. So that's basically it.
The Flash.
But I appreciate suggestions. Yes, we're gonna watch the Flash. To be fair, we did set up to like react to the Flash film on ECUM as well once that comes out. But that'll be a while as well.
We could watch Gotham Knights, like that really shitty looking TV
Christ.
show.
Oh no, please,
Where,
no,
like-
no. I'm done with
Don't do this
CW,
to me.
please. Yeah, let's do something more interesting than CW. Watch the Clone Wars. Oh, I do not want to poke the bear that is Star Wars fans.
No. I don't think that's that.
Uh,
There's not much we can really add for that, to be honest.
I'm gonna
Even-
poke the bear. I'm gonna poke the bear. It's overrated.
Oh no!
It's not
Did you
that
actually
good.
watch it?
I watch. I'm being like trolling, but the episodes I have watched, which was like half of season 1, I wasn't impressed at all.
The thing with season 1 is that even amongst people who like it say, yeah, season 1 is shit.
Yeah, I've heard it gets better as it
Like,
goes
it's-
on, but
Like,
anyway.
I haven't revisited, but like season 1 is rough. Like it was really when like they're trying to work the animation and just the show in general out, and it's not a great time.
Sheev has
So,
been
like-
rewatching Clone Wars. If anyone's interested in a take on that show, talk to him. We're not gonna. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
interested at all in poking
I
that
mean,
bear.
I liked Clone Wars. Like I liked watching it, but I'm not really interested in revisiting it.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, Otsu. That's where this entire tangent came from. But yes, Otsu.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like it. It's every time Madvika comes on, we just talk about the fucking most unrelated stuff.
Very proud of you. I call it my map book. We can see what's coming before it happens.
What?
Iris, you're gonna.
Barry,
Yo,
you
he's
could-
shirtless. Let's go.
Wait, I'm sorry. He has a
Yes.
book about events that'll happen in the future that he can see before it happens.
Apparently so.
That-
That would have been useful previously.
But the problem is, by their laws of time to do that, those events. would
Yeah, you
end
need
up
to make sure that they
in
are going to
Tampa.
happen, but that you can change the timeline, so it's not set, right?
But then Flashpoint occurs potentially.
Mm.
But also, this is kind of a thing he could technically do, but in the sense that he could work out all the possibilities and navigate to the best route.
I don't. I guess we're gonna have to see. I don't know how exactly that'll work. Especially when two of the characters are like they live in the future, right? Sparta and Nora, and even in the last season they changed time and like Jay was alive after they did that. So and they just kept that because that episode's garbage and they didn't fix their what they did. So I don't actually know.
Gonna get pregnant in 3 months.
Barry,
Well, she doesn't look happy about that.
Wants to build a time machine.
Alright, I'm just pausing for copyright, but
Wait,
yes,
what?
building a time
Did he say
machine.
a speedster wants to build a time machine?
He said
Yes.
someone was
Apparently.
machine.
This new speedster.
This new
wants
speedster.
to build a time machine.
Man, that's
okay.
never happened
Oh.
before.
Man, time travel isn't possible without a time machine, right?
Yes,
That-
they've never done that before in the Flash.
Reverse Flash didn't want to go back to their own time. No.
Remember when Barry reversed time because he was trying to stop like, what was it, tsunami or something? I think it was that, right?
Yes.
I swore I would make sure that we always had a future.
I don't want to know
Oof, that delivery from Greg Gustin wasn't great.
everything that's gonna happen. I just want to be able to choose it.
You got a mutiny on your hands.
Oh shit! Wait, he's working with Goldface. That's Goldface on the. He's working with
No way.
Goldface. And the
Yo.
Frost boyfriend, who's also a good character. What's his name? Mark, right? I think it's Mark. Let's
Is
go! The two
Is
best
that
characters
Hugh
from last
Grant's
season.
babyface on the right?
Oh my god, it might be. Yeah, I think it actually is. It looks like it. It is As. It is the As from last season. Holy shit, they're all of them are back. All the best characters from last season are back. Holy shit.
Let's go.
I thought
Holy
Endgame
shit.
was a huge celebration.
No, this one
And
frame
this
has
comes
made me
out.
happier than Endgame did in 3 hours. This is amazing.
This is my multiverse of madness.
Yes, exactly. Holy shit.
What do we have to lose?
The whole time.
Your life.
Well, we have to lose the whole time
yeah.
as a sipper.
What is is this the effect of the time sickness? Or
No,
was that
because
green?
no, they got rid of the time sickness by this point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but it
time
could be coming
sickness was
back.
great.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not like the Flash has recycled
Well-
elements from previous seasons.
Well, yeah,
before.
in season 7, she was curing her time sickness by the end, and then in season 8, they were like, no, actually, she still has it, and it's gonna be important to the plot, because, yeah. Because we want
Her
reverse
time
magic.
Her time sickness was green. So this at best is related to the psychic one. Is it psychic one?
One of the
You know
other
the one that
forces,
causes the
yeah.
nightmares.
Yeah.
I need your help to save the world.
I assume he's saying that too. Like one of the returning characters, like Oliver or Diggo, or like when he goes back in time, he's like, gonna need your help, and then he's gonna use them and then put them back into their timeline afterwards. So timeline remains intact. That's what I assume. Also, I just wanted to pause because copyright.
I have nothing to live for. Yes, you do. I'll show you.
Yo, Hartley, let's go.
Run, Barry, run! Oh, when we saw him throwing the boomerang, let's go.
Oh, boomerang.
It was a double
What a
boomerang as
wacky
well for some
villain.
reason.
So it's definitely Cap Boomerang.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was
That's-
definitely gonna be
that's
in one.
epic.
Wait, actually, let me just check something because I'm pretty sure he stopped to talk in that moment. Yeah, like why was he standing there? Why just not run at him? You have super
At
speed.
least he actually tried dodging it.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that is better than a lot of the
Makes
time.
nice change.
Yeah.
We can do the impossible.
Don't blink. Whoa.
Whoa, that was like one
I
frame.
Don't turn
I
your back,
assume
don't
these-
look away and don't blink.
I assume these frames. Oh, this frame is really funny, actually. His face. Holy shit. Holy shit. I'm gonna save this, and this is gonna be the thumbnail for thumbnail for the
Yeah.
our
was gonna
when I
say,
turn this
yeah.
into a video. All right, this is saved.
Oh, wait. Twitter Barry, the Flash 2023. He I think he pointed this out on Twitter.
Mm.
He was like, oh no, someone else said like Flash is about to do like a Hulk clap basically, but his version where he like shoots electricity after he claps.
Oh, is this
And
it?
then Yeah, and then they said like even after so many seasons, after 8 seasons of this show, Flash is still like finding out new abilities and powers. When this is, I'm pretty sure this is essentially just the lightning.
Yeah, it's
throw,
just
so
lightning
not
throw, but it
exactly
looks
that.
different.
Yeah, and then Barry retweeted that, so that's why I saw it.
Oh, that's hilarious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does do a Hulk clap.
Yeah, it's basically just a lightning throw, but okay.
I assume these frames are the ones that we paused on in the last video we
we
did because it is edited
confirmed
virtually
Chester.
the same.
Let's do this.
Yeah, we confirmed Chester is in this season. Which, to be fair, they had a frame of Chester and Allegra in this trailer, so this is objectively a better trailer because the best
Yeah.
relationship's coming back.
Yes.
Why can't Flash just use his lightsaber? Oh yeah, that was a thing in season 7? It was a 7, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
7.
One last time.
The Flash. The final season begins Wednesday, February 8th on CW18.
What? Okay, I'm sorry.
Wednesday, February.
I can only afford CW17.
CW17. Sorry, the audio here was super weird.
Do this one last time.
The Flash. The final season.
Like, look at that, they changed narrators.
It's like
The Flash, the
It is.
final season. But then, also,
Oh.
even the final season moment, he, like, talks over himself. Look at this.
One last time.
The Flash. The final season begins Wednesday, February 8th on CW.
It sounds like
Yeah,
the same guy to me,
words.
but he does talk over himself.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
there are
squeeze it in
two
real
voices. The Flash is a very honest trailers type voice, and then the other one is a more...
I play it back.
Let's do this one last time.
The Flash. The final season begins Wednesday, February 8th.
Begins
It's-
Wednesday? They didn't cut
it
out
sounds-
the mistake.
They sound like the same guy if one of them had like a different mic and changed
Yeah.
his pitch slightly.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. But that was hilarious. That's a very funny mistake for like a CW production. But
Wait,
yeah,
what mistake did they make? The date?
no, the mistake is the changing audios and then him talking over himself
Oh.
because he fumbled the line and then you can hear the cut. Like
No,
it's
yeah.
when he says Wednesday.
One last time.
The Flash. The final season begins Wednesday, February 8th.
Begins Wednesday,
I didn't
February
notice that
8th.
the first time.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's such an obvious mistake.
Yeah, just re-record it.
Oh my god.
This is the
Damn.
movie. They don't have the budget to re-record.
Yeah. Well, that was all right. Okay, I like this trailer a lot. I'm glad we did this. Thanks, Jeff, for reminding us.
Yeah.
Is it worth seeing what's in that notebook? Because there's a shot of it.
Oh yeah, let me check. How early into the trailer is it? Here.
And see what's coming.
That's way too pixelated for me to see.
Okay, that's not helpful.
Something 2024.
So blurry.
Fall 2024, I think. God.
Okay, that's something.
Isn't it the year he goes missing in Crisis?
Yeah, but they sped
Oh.
that up because they already did Crisis, right, Jab? They changed that when that happens in the timeline.
Yeah, they changed
These-
it to like I
All
guess
in
I
my
don't know to 2020,
book. We
and
can
like
see what's
turns out they didn't even have
coming
to.
before
They could have just done it
Oops.
in 2024 anyway.
it happened.
Yeah, I can't pause it in time
think
apparently, but
that's-
I doubt
oh.
there's anything too important.
All I could see was like CCCM and Coast C.
Yeah, well, that's yeah. That was the trailer. Woohoo. That was actually really fun.
Amazing.
Now, Madvocate, someone
no way-
mentioned earlier, because this video was already like in our one that we were planning to cover, but someone mentioned it in relation to you, that apparently MatPat misses some of the obvious shit that you pointed out in your video about like Spider-Man being actually charged with murder. So I was curious, that's why I asked you to come on, because I was like, Madvocate has a video talking a lot about this plot point in No Way Home, so could be
Yeah.
interesting. So yeah.
Hold on. I opened the original video, the original trailer,
Mhm.
and I went frame by frame. I still can't read it, even on the most clear like frame, which is the last one with the book. I can only see. Oh wait, something brain, coast city something.
Right.
Again, part of it's blurry, but those are the only words I could make out.
All right then.
Yeah, this is also in 720p is the max resolution. So thanks TV promos, 2.53 million subscribers.
To be fair, I imagine they just got that from like a CW like YouTube channel or something that like uploaded in 720 instead of 1080. So it makes no sense not to upload it in HD. But anyway, yeah, Flash. And now, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yep.
Yay, let's see what MatPat has to say. That's Film Theories. Is Spider-Man actually guilty of murder? Oh, he didn't hyphenate Spider-Man in the title. That's cringe.
Whoa, fake fan.
Yeah, for real.
He wrote it twice. He wrote it two different ways.
Oh
He-
yeah,
he
actually,
put the
yeah.
space.
He's Spider Space
Space
Man,
and then
and then
together.
Spider-Man all together. Oh, I know why he did that. It's for SEO. It's because if you put like typos, people who type it like typos, it makes it easier to find. So he probably in the description put Spider-Man because then it has all three versions of Spider-Man written that way, so that if people, search on YouTube Spider-Man No Way Home, whatever way they type Spider-Man, they're gonna find it. So, I mean.
MatPat only wants money.
Yeah, SEO genius.
In No Way Home, Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, says that he's
Why'd you say Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, and then when you said aka Daredevil, you take out the mask? Should it be the opposite? Or the mask falls onto him when you say aka Daredevil? It's a nitpick, I know, but it's silly. It should be the opposite.
Interesting. You're not allowed to criticize someone's visuals on a video.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
No,
Yeah, we learned that
that's
from the Critical
that's
Drinker
just
video.
fiction.
So many
I
people
think
got
that-
mad that we criticized the visuals on his videos and we were nitpicking, even though the visuals are like a huge part of how you use examples to make your points in videos, but whatever.
What, is looping the trailer 5 times not good enough for you? Hmm?
I'm telling you, Critical Drinker literally searched on YouTube like films with man, and then he downloaded a 3-minute video that just random clips of man and films, and then just put it as background footage.
able to get him to drop the murder charges on Peter Parker because he's a really good lawyer. But is he really? One word answer, no. In his Netflix series, he openly misses the opening statements for a murder case because he was busy palling around with Elektra.
Yeah.
Wait, what? That doesn't make him.
Yeah, that doesn't make
like
it
a
a bad
lawyer.
Yeah, he's a very good lawyer. Whenever he actually shows up to cases, people are always impressed with him. Like his opening state, he like Defenders. The first time we see him in Defenders, he's making a very good case as a lawyer in that show.
Yeah, if we're talking about the lawyering itself, yeah, but I don't know why I'm assuming that's what he means. The lawyering itself. I guess he means showing up on time or at all is part of that. But
I mean,
that's because he's,
obviously
doing
it's
other
an
things.
issue, but it's part of the conflict in that season, right? Of him and Foggy fighting about
the whole
it.
season is him like not being able to do everything he wants or can.
Yeah, he can't help as many people as he wants. So he can't do his
Yeah.
job, and he can't like fight on the streets all the time and deal with Electra and, and be friends with Foggy and Karen. It's, you know, a lot going on.
And that's why in the beginning of Defenders, he's like, "Yep, I've given up on that
Yeah.
life."
Yeah, he's just being a lawyer by that point. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and most of his clients wind up dead before their cases hit the courtroom. And all
Did they? What? Huh? No, that's not true.
That guy literally died after the courtroom. He got
Yeah, and I'm sorry, like his client there was Punisher. The visual you're showing is of Punisher. He hasn't died yet. He's still alive in that universe. He had 2 seasons set after that season of his own show.
Stop nitpicking.
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna mention visuals anymore ever again.
All of this is without even mentioning the fact that his nighttime activities would definitely get him disbarred. So
Yeah, but that's okay. What does this have
Wait,
to do?
what?
It's like saying that Saul Goodman is a bad lawyer because he does some shady shit with like Kim to like fuck over Howard. It's like, yeah, that probably would get him fucked over by law, right?
Is he just pointing out the premise
Of the
and,
show,
like, saying
pretty
it's,
much.
it's not good?
Yeah, I say it makes him a bad lawyer. It doesn't make him a bad lawyer. He's a good lawyer and a good vigilante. Obviously, those two things cause a little bit of conflict within them. But that's something, especially season 3 tackles, which is the fact that he doesn't believe that the justice system can like deal with people. Well, in season 3 at all, and on the other seasons, that it just doesn't do it like enough or properly, and that's why he goes after these people.
Yeah, it's like the whole story about the stepdad that kept beating and molesting their stepdaughter.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, with the cases he takes on, he does a really good job. I'm just confused. And he even uses his powers to help him be a good lawyer. Like when he heard the heart rate of one of the people in the jury, and he was like, "Oh, she's been compromised," and then he says, "Oh, you know, take her out of the jury or whatever, so it can be impartial," because she was being coerced by Fisk or something. I don't remember who it was, but yeah.
So is he now a bad lawyer for like doing that without their consent by listening to heartbeats, even though
it helps the
it's
case
allowing
remain
him to
more
reach the
objective?
truth?
Yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
actually.
What
I don't know.
about that, MatPat?
Who knows?
So let me ask this again. Was it plot armor that got Peter out of those murder charges so easily? Surprisingly, no. There's a reason the murder charges against Peter Parker were dropped so quickly.
It's because they were bullshit, and it's very easy to prove
Because
they
there's
were.
an overwhelming amount of evidence towards Mysterio.
Yeah. Mysterio made a video of Peter be like, kill all of them, and then like
Not
what?
show
How
his
many people?
face.
And how many people die actually? From the drone attacks? It's not that much, right? But he says kill all of them, but that's not what happened. It's so weird.
And then there's like explosions and shooting sound effects in the back, but it's like, who did he actually kill?
Yeah.
There's only like a few bodies that you can't even see bullet holes in them because the only explanation would be they were crushed by like rubble or something.
Yeah.
Because the drones only went after Peter's friends.
Yeah, and speaking of Peter's friends, I forgot the character's name, but the one who was streaming, like, there's a lot of like footage that can be taken. Flash, yeah, that can be taken as evidence for him streaming.
Yeah.
And it's not what you might expect. And it's certainly not because of Matt Murdock. Sorry, buddy.
Hello, Internet is the subtitle. Short. Imagine watching a film, Film Theory, Hello, Internet.
I just find it so funny that the Marvel Studios logo is just
MatPat. Yeah, but that's actually
Yeah.
kind of clever. I kind of like that. There's plot armor in the majority in No Way Home, but no, him getting up of murders because people are stupid. I mean, yeah, it's just he wouldn't be charged with murder. It was just silly to think he would. And I don't like that we kind of dropped the whole like Happy still being investigated and shit, because that part actually kind of makes sense. And also like Aunt May with child endangerment, because yeah, but they kind of also just dropped that because we need to get on with the plot, I guess. I mean, that would be a much more interesting film if Aunt May was like being sued for child endangerment or whatever, but guess not sued, charged. But yeah.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film. Be talking about.
Oh shit! It skipped ahead. I was very confused for a second. Hold on. Watch Gather's been doing that today.
Hello, Internet, welcome to Film Theory, the show that could be talking about the multiversal future of Spider-Man, but is instead choosing to talk about the legally fraught past of Spider-Man. It goes without saying, but No Way Home was great. Finally,
Yeah, it goes without saying. Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Right.
I personally disagree, but yeah.
the MCU's Peter Parker is forced to confront the reality that there are just some problems he can't outrun. Let's be honest, out of all this Spider-
I mean, wasn't that the point of Far From Home? Because he tried to outrun his problems? Like, that's not the point of No Way Home, about outrunning his problems.
Isn't that just like a fundamental thing with Spider-Man? Is that his problems always catch up to him? Like,
I mean, yeah, but it's like, because in No Way Home, he actually tries to get away and just, like, have a vacation, and then he can't have the vacation he wants. Like, his problems come back to haunt him. In No Way Home, and, well, I guess in No Way Home is because it's a direct consequence of Far From Home, like him being, him not being let into whatever college it was, MIT, I think. And then that causes the multiverse shit to happen. So I guess that kind of makes sense. It's just a weird way to phrase it. It's not like the point of No Way Home's present return.
Even then, I disagree, because the only thing he does is not run away from his own problem, but try to stop it being a problem for his friends.
Well, yeah, but that's the point is that he can't run away from his problems, so he needs to confront it head on, and that's the point. Like, he can't just move on from Far From Home. He needs to confront the problems that they
Isn't that what he does by going to the MIT lady?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He does that, so that proves that he can't run away from his problems. He has to confront them.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
like
weird.
that.
It's a more... It fits way more with saying that about Far From Home, but alas.
Yeah.
Spider-Man that we've seen hit the silver screen thus far, Tom Holland's version of Peter Parker has definitely lived the most charmed life. He lives in a huge, gorgeous New York apartment with his young, healthy aunt, and he had a literal billionaire acting as his surrogate father.
That was just such a weird choice of words. His young, healthy aunt.
Young, healthy aunt.
Not his old dementia-riddled.
Yeah.
Woman.
That's actually... That even clocked for me. That is
version
funny.
of Peter Parker has definitely lived the most charmed life. He lives in a huge, gorgeous New York apartment with his young, healthy aunt, and he had a literal billionaire acting as his surrogate father. He doesn't even get...
I mean, to be fair, he also put him in danger when he shouldn't have, but alas.
bullied by jocks. The version of Flash Thompson that he had to deal with was a fellow nerd from the academic decathlon team.
When I say penis, you say Parker. Penis! Penis!
Oh no!
Okay, why is that? Why is that?
Thank you for the
Why
subtitles.
why is that better than being a jock? He's still being bullied. I guess because he's not being beat up, I guess, as opposed to the Tobey Maguire ones.
Surely I'd go that other people think Flash is a bit of a loser in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I'm getting harassed by a thin guy in a blazer who's 2 inches shorter than me, and that's why it's so...
What's the problem with him being thin? Thin. No,
what does this have to do with the legal stuff and No Way Home?
Because that means he's spoiled for some reason. And that'll tie back. I don't know. MatPat makes videos like this. He just wastes time to get to like 10 to 15 minute mark.
Refreshing way home to see him having to struggle a little bit in a pristine New York.
No, but he struggles in all 3 films. What?
Studio apartment that's apparently 2 buildings away from Rockefeller Center, which if you look at real estate pricing is probably costing him about $4,000 a month. Yep, really down on your luck there, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, don't think about it. I don't know. You just gotta don't think about it. Don't worry about it.
It's like that aside, this Spider-Man, aside from Garfield, is well, no, actually, I'd argue close to. Where am I going? I'd argue they've gone through more than Garfield at this point, because whilst Gwen died for Garfield, I would argue it's worse forcing the person you love to forget you and them seeing you and they just don't know who you are.
Mm. Yeah, it's just also weird to say like, oh, it's nice to see in No Way Home that he's actually struggling in like the studio apartment. It's like, no, that's at the end. We've not seen that happen yet. That's gonna be the next film. That's just a setup. So like he's still... Like, he's in Happy's apartment for most of the film, which is huge. It's, like, paid by Stark at a building, like, owned by Stark Industries.
Are you telling me he did his research on the apartment price for a New York one 2 blocks away from Rockefeller Center, but he didn't notice the obvious holes in, with all the evidence in the movies that he's,
Hey,
talking about.
maybe he did. We'll see. Don't worry. We've not gotten there yet, Madvocate. You can't assume.
Okay.
I got bullied by a guy shorter than me at school. Sometimes people gaining up on you can be a lot for a guy. Kind of how the entire world thinks he's a terrible person. Yeah, I think it's weird to say that he's not struggled. But whatever.
Peter, in general, easily, and nothing exemplifies this more than
Sorry. Watch, you gotta skip that again. So let me rewind.
Down on your luck there, Spider-Man. Peter, in general, gets off pretty darn easily, and nothing exemplifies this more than the beginning of the movie. Right out of the gate, we're hit with.
Like, I just want to break that down because I hate that misconception by like fans as well. It's one of the few things I defend the MCU on. As I said, he goes through the most. Like in Homecoming, he's forced to try and deal with Vulture, who ends up being the person he likes' father, which is struggling in itself, and trying to be a hero and deal with all these big new ventures he could go down. Then it gets worse, like in Infinity War to Endgame, he has to deal with being dusted, missing 5 years, Tony's dead, getting all over that, the pressure of being the next Spider-Man, and then he's framed for murder, and everyone hates him, and then he's got to deal with multiversal threats, his aunt dies, and then everyone forgets who he is, like he never existed.
It's funny that you forgot to mention Far From Home. I think you kind of just forgot that film exists, but after
I did,
Endgame...
I said Tony. Without Tony's grief, all the pressure of him being the next big
yeah,
thing
but he also needs to fight like Mysterio, who he looked up to as an idol. Like I think that's as like a mentor or something. That's also a big part of it. Yeah.
But who cares?
It's Far From Home, yeah.
At the beginning of the movie. Right out of the gate, we're hit with this huge hubbub around Peter Parker not only getting outed as Spider-Man, but also getting arrested by the U.S. Department of Damage Control for the murder of Mysterio. In less than a minute, the interrogator gets Ned to confess and has hidden Aunt May with child endangerment charges. It is electric. Finally, there's going to be some consequences here, and no amount of web slinging is going to be able to get you out of this one. I half expected that we'd be spending the first half of this movie in the courtroom, and
yeah, me too. I think it would have been neat if we actually saw a bit more. But considering how the setup from Far From Home is so stupid, I'm kind of glad they didn't waste time on something that like foundationally doesn't make sense. So
yeah.
Then it all vanishes. What was a very public and very serious accusation of terrorism and murder by Quentin Beck, who, it's worth remembering, was a beloved superhero in the eyes of the public, just gets...
Yeah, but who shouldn't be? Because fucking... fake Nick Fury, the scroll Nick Fury would be like, hey, we actually worked with him. He was fucking us over. He was the one who planted everything. And the evidence from Flash's phone and all the evidence like forensics would have just investigating the crime scene. The records from the fact that Edith would probably record everything. I don't know why they don't use that.
And eyewitnesses on the scene.
Beck's only been a superhero like publicly for 2 days.
Yeah, and Spider-Man has been for way longer.
And you're gonna tell me everyone's just gonna trust him over Nick Fury?
Yeah. Yeah, it's silly.
It's just less than 10 minutes into the movie. Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, just strolls.
Are you gonna all the time say aka Daredevil?
What is the point of this?
I don't know. Just say Matt.
We know who he is.
Yeah.
Into the room and says, I don't believe the charges are gonna stick, and then they don't. In one line, the entire movie pivots. Next thing you know, Peter's biggest issue is not getting into MIT.
Yeah, which is related still to the same issue. It's just not in a legal sense, but isn't like a public perception sense. It's still like going from that same setup. I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah,
you can tackle like the same
related.
setup with a few different angles, right?
I wish Far From Home would establish that Mysterio's aware that he would easily get caught as lying, but he knows enough people would buy his story because of how people are.
Yeah, that would make way more sense, right? Like people would want to hate Spider-Man and see that as like, oh my god, see, that's evidence, like, conspiracy theories. And that's why it makes sense to have JJJ be kind of like an Alex Jones type character with like a Infowars type news channel, because it is conspiracy theories for people who want to like have their feelings validated about Peter, which makes sense. Kind of weird how this guy from another universe kind of looks like the guy who worked on Bar from Tony Stark. That is weird, right? You'd think maybe that would be relevant as evidence.
Oh, boo, Peter Parker, your life is so hard. Not only did he beat the rap, but it seems as if none of them had to go to court. But how? There was a videotaped accusation. There was
a videotaped accusation. I can record a
With
video
no
saying
evidence.
Madvick. I can record a video saying Madvick killed my family. It's not gonna make it true. What?
Oh,
There's a
for fuck's
videotaped
sake.
accusation. Yeah, there is. Well done.
He
That- it
showed a
doesn't mean anything.
faceless Spider-Man saying
Yeah.
kill them all. He did it.
Yeah, I have enough audio files from the five of us to get from the Flash reactions and just stick it together and make it sound like I'm, Jeb's like, I will kill your family now, and then I put a gunshot sound in the background, and I'm like, it's Jeb! He's gonna kill everyone! And then boom, Jeb's career's ruined, he's never getting, I don't know, actually, he already has a job.
I will kill
Same
your
fire.
wife. I will kill your son. I will kill your infant daughter.
Now I have a clip of Madvicket saying that. It's perfect. Madvicket's career is ruined. Flash season 4 is never coming out. Perhaps his
Lamar is devastated.
Oh yeah. Perhaps his name is actually Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil. Yeah, it's his full name, right? It's his last name is Murdock, aka Daredevil.
That's the thing, because like even new rock stars always, whenever they refer to Daredevil, they always say Matt Murdock's Daredevil or Charlie Cox's Daredevil. It's like
The AKA is just silly.
it's like the AKA or the actor first, and it's like just say the name.
Just say I know it. Especially if you're showing a visual, right? I know which one you're referring to. I know you're not referring to Ben Affleck. Don't worry.
Imagine if here he addressed everyone like Peter Parker, aka
AKA
Spider-Man,
and
Ned,
May.
aka Hobgoblin from the comics.
The only exception to this is Drinker's videos.
Yes. Drinker's allowed to do this type of thing because we're nitpicking when he makes it.
Smart.
no. There was a videotaped accusation. There were confessions. There was
No, what? There were confessions that Ned helped Peter fight crime. What are you talking about?
Yes, we was there, Your Honor.
Yeah.
That means you murdered.
Yeah.
Oh, no, no, Your Honor, please.
That means that's like this is the most circumstantial thing ever. It's like, oh, he was near there, and there's a video of someone saying he killed people. So, oof.
physical evidence to make
This physical evidence is drones. The drones would be evidence against him. The fucking what? Are you telling me Edith
my
wouldn't be able to
God.
prove the opposite? That he would be like, oh, actually, the time that Beck's saying these things happened, the ownership was Beck's and not Peter's. For some reason, they transfer back to Peter, even though he doesn't grant the permission, which is a thing that it should do, but it doesn't because the film needs to happen. But like, genuinely makes like Edith is the most like evidence that Peter has to defend himself because like look at the records of this technology. You can just use it to prove we're not like I'm not guilty.
To be fair, if it was Miles, he would go to prison.
Yes, Jeb. I'm glad we agree. The police has a racial bias.
all of these seems like quite the tall order, even if you do have the world's greatest lawyer at your side. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. What happened? What would the legal case actually look like here? What would the consequences be? Could the world's greatest lawyer actually beat?
Dude, a very mediocre lawyer could very easily beat this case. I don't
She-Hulk.
need it.
Yeah,
She-Hulk
considering
win
everything.
this case, yeah. Even Jen Walters.
These charges so effortlessly? Or should the third installment of the Spider-Man Home trilogy have been named Spider-Man Home Arrest?
I
Well,
knew he
what
was
I
gonna make
think
that
I
joke,
found is
fuck's
that
sake.
Peter,
So he's used this PNG before, but it annoys me because his left foot is cut off right at the tip, and it's very mildly bothering me. Anyway.
unbeknownst to him, appears to have been caught in a bigger cover-up. But to understand how and why, let's look through the various charges that the movie presents us with, starting with Aunt May. The
I
latest
mean, yeah, she wouldn't be let off, but the film just kind of ignores it.
of the charges go to Aunt May. The agent says to her, quote, "The boy was entrusted to you, and as his legal guardian, essentially his mother, you not only allowed him to endanger himself, but you actually encouraged it." So, would May actually face legal trouble? And if so, what would the consequences look like? Well, when it comes to the law, the first thing that we have to figure out is what laws actually apply. Not
Why would you do this to the subtitles? That looks awful. With it, like, over the whatever that is, the table. That's
all
all.
places have the same laws and they all tend to apply them differently. So we have to figure out who has jurisdiction in this case. In other words, which entity is the one with the right to prosecute. Even though the end of Far From Home took place in London, May's alleged crimes would have been primarily happening in New York. As such, that means we'll be looking into New York's penal law 260.1.
Penal.
No. And after a quick pass through this, yeah, things aren't looking too good off the bat for old May. Guardians could face charges if they act in a way that's going to cause injury to a child or don't provide enough diligence over the child to prevent them from endangering themselves. And Peter Parker faces more than his fair share of danger throughout the series. Spider-Man is involved in no less than 2 wars, Civil and Infinity. This guy is going toe-to-toe with...
No way, but she doesn't let it happen in those instances. She didn't know Peter was Spider-Man then. It would need to be after Homecoming that those charges would apply, because she finds out at the end of Homecoming. How are you getting this wrong, MatPat? She didn't allow him to go to another planet in Infinity War and die. God damn it. Oh, no, wait. Infinity War is after Homecoming. So she didn't
Actually,
that.
That's still right, because she still didn't know he was going there in the first place.
Oh, yeah. Because even Tony was like, no, you're not going.
Yeah.
So the kind of thing that
He
happened.
didn't call her.
Yeah, because he was
like,
in the
"I'm gonna go to
bus.
space."
Yeah, he was in the bus, and then he went there to help Tony, and then he went with... So even then, yeah, it's right that she didn't allow him to endanger himself. But Civil War is just not at all applicable in this instance.
With aliens and giants, May would absolutely be liable here.
No! She didn't know. Peter was doing this behind her back.
Yeah, also, even if, what am I trying to say? But, like, even if he did get, or he did tell May or whatever, and she said no, like, it would be out of character for him not to do it. So he would still be, like, not listening to her, I guess.
Well, but if she knows it, she has, like, a duty to stop him in a way.
But what is she even gonna do if he's like not home?
I don't.
And he just decides to do it anyway.
Just tell him he's grounded. No, I don't know that I would need to look into law for child endangerment if that, like, a child doing something behind a parent's back that, if it would be...
That would be shitty if, like, she's still at fault for that.
Yeah, I don't think she could be prosecuted for something she literally, like, tells Peter not to do, and he just does
he's superhuman. It's not like he's physically, like, dominant and, like, can do whatever he wants that way.
Isn't the answer just basically reporting him in relation to the Accords?
Yeah, I guess she would have to report him to the government and be like, oh, Peter is doing this, can you help me stop him from endangering himself? If she knew.
Yeah, if he told her, like,
because
I'm
it's the
gonna
kind
do
of
it
thing,
anyway.
like, if you know your child isn't, like, home at a time they're supposed to be, you kind of call the police and, like, oh, my child's missing or something like that, right? Where you kind of have a duty of doing that, because otherwise it's kind of neglect, I assume. Not at a time when you're supposed to be, like, you know the usual, like, 24 to 48 hours of, not seeing them.
Hello, police. I could see my child fighting a giant fucking monster.
I can see my child hanging from an alien ship going out going to another planet. I don't know what you can do, but I reported it, so don't sue me, okay?
Yeah.
Please.
MatPat warned me,
The cards only apply to Avengers, and Spider-Man is an official Avenger until he's in space. I mean, that's silly if that's true.
Wait, what's the claim?
I don't think that's true. That the Accords only apply to Avengers, and he's not an Avenger until he's in space. But I don't think that's true, because in Homecoming,
it's not.
In Homecoming, they mentioned the Accords, right? That he should act in accordance to the Accords.
The Accords are literally for any vigilante.
Yeah, I mean, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. established that, and in Jessica Jones season 3 as well. But it's season 2 and 3. But I don't know if they actually say that in the films. But if they don't, it's super silly. It should just be like only the Avengers when there are like Spider-Man, like a street level superhero. He would still need to be in compliance with the Accords. Especially when he helped. He even helped Tony Stark fight in Civil War, right? Like, surely he would have to have signed the Accords to do that.
Yeah, and also, even though I'm used to future media, we've already seen proof in the MCU that it's just vigilante in general.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And She-Hulk, they mentioned, right?
Yeah, and Miss Marvel has damage control.
Oh yeah, I still haven't finished Miss Marvel, but yeah, that is true.
Provide known. You see, the law only applies in situations where the person knowingly acts in a way that's going to put those they care for in danger.
Oh, okay. So why did you mention those? You just said you could have streamline your videos. Why are you just not? Okay, so these are the instances that would apply, and then you say an Infinity War and Civil War wouldn't apply because she didn't know. And that's it. You don't need to go into a tangent about what applies or not. Ugh.
This means that May is off the hook for the events of Civil War and Homecoming, where she is in the dark for the entirety of both movies. As far as she knew, it was all part of a Stark internship. For Infinity War and Endgame, Peter was definitely put into danger, but not because of the actions of Aunt May. Honestly, the closest she gets is in Spider-Man Far From Home, when we see her—
Yeah, but there's the fact that he continued to act as Spider-Man between Homecoming and Infinity War, presumably with her telling him to continue doing it. It's just that we don't know the actual events of what happened between those films of him continuing to be Spider-Man. Same from between Endgame and in Far From Home, and between, well, Far From Home and No Way Home. There's nothing in between, but yeah.
Encouraging Peter's Spider-Man behavior by making him appear at charity events and when she packs his suit in his travel luggage. It's her giving consent to him being a vigilante. That said, it would be surprising to see any of this hold up in court. She never actively puts him into dangerous situations.
I fucking hate that part where she puts it in the suitcase, because it completely contradicts Peter later saying, if my Aunt May sees me like on the news like fighting these monsters in Far From Home, like she'll kill me or whatever. It's like she's the one who packed the suit.
Yeah, that's true. That's silly.
Could be seen as an act of trying to keep Peter safe. Giving a speech at a fundraiser, it's probably the safest thing that Peter does in his capacity as Spider-Man.
Yeah, but she still encourages him to be a vigilante, right? She's not being like, oh, you can't be a vigilante. He's doing it like behind her back. I assume like you need to prove this, I guess. That she knew every time he was going out, because you need like proof of that, which I guess we could just lie in court, remember it, obviously. No, that never happened because there's no proof.
Thank you for having me, and thank you guys.
As long as you don't get physical pain from cringing. Tony Stark, on the other hand, would have been totally guilty had those charges been brought against him. In Civil War, we see him knowingly lie to Aunt May.
Who else knows? Anybody?
Nobody.
Not even your unusually attractive aunt?
No.
He brings a teenager without a passport to Germany.
You got a passport?
No, I don't even have a driver's
You ever
license.
been to Germany?
And he does all these things with the intent to subdue Captain America, the greatest soldier of all history.
No, no. Captain America's a criminal by then. He's a fugitive. Why are you framing it this way? What? He's a
I kind of wanted to see where he was going with this. If he was gonna like, talk about what's actually happening in Civil War beyond Captain America's the best super soldier in the world.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, he's a soldier, an American hero. No,
he completely
he's
missed what was happening in that movie.
The point is that he's a fugitive. Fucking hell. He completely doesn't understand this conflict of Civil War, I guess.
As well as his buddy Bucky, the greatest assassin ever. As well.
Yeah, the greatest assassin ever. You can't even make him sound good. What's the point of having these character descriptions? What's this adding to the video? And the Maximoff, the strongest witch ever. It's like, yeah, thank you. That was helpful.
I guess is he just trying to make it like sound like really dangerous?
Oh, if that's the point, then his wording was terrible.
That might be it. Yeah, but yeah, that threw me off. I thought he was like, how dare Spider-Man go after the greatest super soldier in the world? That's kind of what it sounded like.
Let's rewind. I'm curious if it was us misreading
Stark,
it.
On the other hand, would have been totally guilty had those charges
Barry
been
Allen, the
against him.
fastest
In
man
Civil War, we see him knowingly lie to Aunt May.
Who else knows? Anybody?
Nobody.
Not even your unusually attractive aunt?
No.
He brings a teenager without a passport to Germany.
You got a passport?
No, I don't even have a driver's
You ever been to
license.
Germany?
And he does all these things with the intent to subdue Captain America, the greatest soldier of all history.
Yeah, it's because he says greatest soldier of all history. He should
have said like the strongest.
Yeah.
Like the strongest man in the world.
Yeah, one of the strongest people in the world. Like, the point is just... the greatest soldier is the problem. Because
I think he was trying to make it sound dangerous, but...
Yeah, say greatest really doesn't. Yeah.
As well as his buddy Bucky, the greatest assassin ever. As well as a witch that can juggle freaking cars. Any way you slice it, Tony Stark is...
Why are you using this photo? That's very...
Oh my god.
It's using the photo of Robert Downey Jr. actually being arrested in real life. It's super insensitive. Fucking hell.
Connection.
Fucking hell. Yeah,
I use your drug addict photos, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, MatPat.
Guilty as charged.
Jesus.
So now let's move on to Ned. Things aren't so rosy for him. He was directly involved.
Wait, you didn't finish your thought. What? You didn't finish the thought. So is she gonna be charged or not?
Okay.
You didn't. You just said,
maybe he's gonna get to it after.
He just said Aunt May probably wouldn't because it probably wouldn't. Then, but Tony Stark would, and then
Tony Stark,
Ned.
yes.
But it's like, no, you should say what are the charges actually being, charged against her. What can actually hold up in court? Because she did more than what you're saying. This video seems very surface level. I'm annoyed.
Unless he's gonna bring it up later, like all three of them. We'll see.
Involved in Spider-Man shenanigans, or at least as involved as he can be while sitting in a chair, and he confessed to helping Spider-Man find the Vulture, helping him hack his suit, and quote, kinda helping him get into space. Or as the
But
DOJ
Ned's
agent puts
also
it,
a minor in this situation.
Yeah, but he would be charged probably as a minor, but it's still that he did these things, and America does charge minors with shit. In Brazil, they don't.
Yeah,
because Brazil is insane.
that in illegal vigilantism, you were his main accomplice. But hold on here. First off, helping Spider-Man get to space and helping Spider-Man hack his own...
No, this is a point made about his involvement with Spider-Man being Spider-Man, and then you extrapolate that on what Spider-Man did that was against the law, which is him being a vigilante.
On this occasion, though, he can be done for computer misuse.
Oh,
in
really?
some form. Yeah, because he's hacking into a suit unlawfully.
Right. I was thinking more of the going to space thing, but yeah, that is true. Because it's not Peter's property, right? It belongs to Tony, and Tony...
Yeah.
Yeah, the only issue is Stark Industries would have to... Well, unless the police uncovered it, they wouldn't have to charge him. It'd be up to the police if he should be charged, but that would be a crime.
Well, yeah, he confessed to it, so he would still be charged. It's just whether or not Stark Industries wants to charge him as well, I guess. And on top of it, in terms of like damages or something, or if it just be what you said, like unlawful use of computer or whatever you said.
Computer misuse.
Would this like domino over to Tony? Like, why are you providing this high-tech suit to a minor that's
but by
got,
this
like,
point Tony
weaponry
was
in it?
dead, so I mean it wouldn't.
Oh, that's true.
But to be fair, he's still
that's a good point.
but he's still being given stuff by Stark Industries, right? Like it would fall, the responsibility I guess would fall onto Pepper by this point because she runs it. Her and Happy, I guess.
And Pepper knew.
Yeah.
But I guess
and Pepper knew
and
prior,
be like,
Though she could just say, I didn't know Tony was doing that.
Yeah.
No, not at all. This framed picture of him and Peter in our house, I just thought he liked kids.
Oh god.
I didn't want to finish that joke, but I did. So anyway...
suit? Yeah, that's not illegal. Secondly, when it comes to that alleged criminal vigilantism that the agent's talking about, it's important to note that being a vigilante in and of itself is not illegal. It's true that...
It is in the MCU because of the Accords. He was not following the Accords, right? That would be the point in Homecoming. Where was Pepper in No Way Home? They couldn't pay Gwyneth Paltrow, so it doesn't matter. Even though she'd probably be like a very important character in that film, but whatever.
She wanted her vagina scented candles to be advertised, and they said no.
Yes, she wanted to have Goop be the official sponsor of No Way Home, and they're just like, fuck off. Kevin Feige has principles.
Many of the things involved with vigilantism often involve breaking the law. For example, breaking and entering criminal hideouts or committing acts of violence against suspected criminals. But
yeah, he did that. What?
Many of states, New York included, have citizens arrest laws that allow any person to make arrests if they have immediate knowledge of a crime, or they have reasonable and probable grounds of suspicion that a felony is taking place. In Peter's case, he's not going out to commit acts of unnecessary violence against criminals. In fact, getting the job done while hurting as few people as possible is kind of his whole thing. And as far as...
Doesn't he interfere with an FBI raid in the...
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, he does.
That's part of the vigilantism. In Homecoming, that would definitely be, he'd be charged with. It's what's the name of the law he breaks? It's
obstruction of justice.
Obstruction of justice, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I'm pretty sure would go against the Accords to just do all this shit without telling them when he's a superpowered individual, working under Tony Stark especially. So yeah, MatPat, but citizens' arrests are very hard to hold up in court since the laws are tricky. I don't know a lot about those types of laws, but that could probably be an interesting point. Sorry.
Police never
You could do it in this country as well, but yeah, it falls flat a lot because it relies on the citizen having all the evidence already.
Yeah, because you can't just go out and arresting someone and say, no, I saw them stabbing that person, officer, I swear. And you're like, okay, can you prove it? No, but I saw it. Where's the knife? I don't know, but I saw it. You know, that's not gonna hold up. The same reason why Back's accusation video wouldn't hold up, but according to MatPat, it might, so who knows?
as few people as possible is kind of his whole thing. And as far as we know, the New York police never...
Though, his suit records everything he sees, right? So I suppose he could use that as evidence? Which he didn't know he was doing that, to be fair. But it does do that, so I guess he could use that as evidence.
Put out a warrant for Spider-Man's arrest, even after knowing that he was going around the neighborhood apprehending criminals, which strongly suggests that none of what he was doing would be considered criminal. So while the guy interrogating Ned might be using words that sound intimidating, the truth is that unless he has some other actual charge that he's not talking about, Ned probably isn't facing anything that would actually result in criminal penalties. Peter, on the other hand, though, does have a warrant out for his arrest.
Why did you slow down this footage? It's very choppy because you slowed it down. What's the point?
But what's interesting is that we see him defending himself against a very specific charge.
Was the film not out yet when he made this video and he was using trailer footage? Was that it? Because this looks like the trailer.
I'll explain it.
Yeah,
He didn't kill
and it's all
Quentin
slowed
Beck.
down.
That's worth calling out here because if we look at what Peter was framed for in the previous film, we'd expect him to be facing much more serious charges.
He has an army weaponized drone, Stark Technology.
Are you sure you want to commence the drone attack? There will be significant casualties.
Do it! Execute them all!
Mysterio not
It's so silly. It makes zero sense.
not only framed Peter Parker for his own murder, but for the drone attack at Tower Bridge.
No, he said he did more than the drones actually did. He's saying the drones, I guess, didn't listen to his command, I guess, for some reason. That's a weird way to frame him. Whatever.
While we don't see anyone killed on screen, we do see a bunch of people fleeing from the drones as the Queen's Guard battles them.
Yeah, like the guy who was streaming it and can prove that it wasn't Peter who did it. Yeah, that's fun.
To mention the millions of dollars in damage that's being done to Tower Bridge and all the vehicles on it. Those are pretty serious crimes to add to the rap sheet. So is this the
conclusive proof that Spider-Man was responsible for the brutal murder of Mysterio?
Based on the evidence presented, would Spider-Man need to go to trial? And once there, would he be found guilty? Well, the answers to those questions are no and no. Matt Murdock...
Okay, so, okay. I mean, yeah, you're right. The setup for this video was the exact opposite of what you're saying right now, but okay.
Is
he saying the cars falling off the bridge and whatnot is evidence that...
he's saying that's part of the charges that would be held against him because it's destruction of property.
Yeah, but I hope he's not forgetting that Mysterio confirmed that the elemental was real. And that those collisions could have been caused by said elemental.
Yeah, that is true.
I hope he doesn't forget that. Just putting that out there.
I forgot the Mysterio. The elemental shit is so stupid. Dear God.
What an idiot.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Those charges won't stick, and you don't need to be a really good lawyer with excellent reflexes to make them go away either. Now, the crimes...
Why did you use the Fortnite version of Daredevil? Did you do that?
Oh, no.
Peter has to defend against occurred in London, so technically British law enforcement would be in charge, but honestly, we don't even need to get that complicated to see how this case is gonna go. First and foremost, it's pretty clear that Mysterio's video is the only real piece of evidence here for any and all charges. There were
it isn't evidence at all.
no witnesses on the bridge, and as Peter rightly calls out in the movie, he didn't kill Quentin Beck, the drones did. The drones were also the things causing damage to Tower Bridge, so it really comes down to a question of who was in control of the drones. If the drones keep an audio log, well, then Peter's immediately in the clear.
Edith records shit. That's it. Edith.
But we're gonna assume that that's
mean,
not the case,
you know.
which means that
Oh,
the video
okay.
is really the
The
only
evidence
piece
of his suit recording things.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that, please.
evidence that we have to go on here. Right off the bat, it's highly likely that the video would get exposed as doctored. Forensic experts are people responsible for identifying, analyzing, and reconstructing any evidence that's going to be used in a trial. And they come in all sorts of different varieties. Everything from crime scene analysis to digital or computer forensics. But here, we'd be looking for...
What? Why did you show Agent Smith? What? What? He's not a... He doesn't work with forensics in the Matrix, I'm afraid. MatPat, but okay.
Video forensics experts. Something that a video forensics expert might do, for instance, is look for inconsistencies in the lighting or shadows. Stuff that...
It would be funny if MatPat pointed it out, but it's just the CGI being bad because it's a Marvel film. Be like, you see how this is bad? You know, the film is subtly trying to tell you that this is fake and not that, you know, it's just bad CGI.
a normal viewer might not see, but suggests that the...
You didn't think that people knowing about a single person owning this many deadly drones be brought up? Like, even the guy who takes them away? A scary thought, honestly. Yeah, it's the kind of thing where, like, Edith should probably be, like, a big part of, like, the trial. But, like, you still own this extremely dangerous technology that... Well, I guess it needed to have been approved by the government for Tony to, like, even build a satellite that releases drones. But... the government didn't know that he gave them to Peter, right? Like, the ownership, because they were like, are you fucking kidding me? You're giving me a 16-year-old fucking control of this. So I don't know, actually. I'm curious how that would go. That would probably be, like, an interesting topic to be like, you can't control these, and, like, oh, the government is gonna have them, and, like, Tony wouldn't trust the government, so it's probably Pepper would be, like, about the ownership of it being a Stark Industries thing. That's interesting, actually, to think about.
Video's been... This is something that's actually becoming more and more fake videos.
God damn it, stop.
Something that's actually becoming more and more important in courtrooms as deep fake videos become better and more prevalent. But
you could have probably used a better deepfake video because that did not look real at all. But thanks, man.
Yeah, I think the point of the Edith and the drone tech is that, like, it's perfectly realistic, because otherwise people who get, like, up close to Beck, like, would be able to tell. I think...
Oh, right. The video is doctored. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to mention that...
it's impossible to tell.
Well, I was going to say that, but it's also, like, forensics analyzing doctored videos is different to people, like, in real life. Because, like, if you see a video of, like, a shooting that's doctored, you're probably not gonna be able to tell that it's doctored. You need to be forensics to look for, like, the small inconsistencies that only people who are, like, experts in that would know. So maybe it's the kind of thing where you can trick, like, the human eye, but people who are more knowledgeable can't do it. I guess. Like, I would assume that's the case, because otherwise you can just create, like, these perfect things that is just, like, insane to me to think about, that it can just create, like, a very perfect thing with just holograms, because that's insane technology. So
I mean, I'm just thinking about the time where they have, like, the talk on the rooftop, and it's like, it's obviously he's sitting next to a CGI man, and, like, looking at him from, like, a foot away, and, like, even Peter couldn't tell of any inconsistencies then.
Yeah, his entire suit is like... Oh, wait. Actually, yeah, was he there, or was it just as a hologram of him that he was, like, somewhere
That was a
else?
hologram, because he flies up to the roof where Peter is.
Well, yeah,
so
I just assumed he
not...
would be, like, standing on a drone and that would fly up, but...
Yeah, but no, but he still has some of the suit. Does he? He has a full suit, or is... Oh, no, he does have a full suit.
Yeah.
So you think it's him standing on a drone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it just makes it look like he's flying, because the drones can make themselves disappear and change a few, like, small things. Because I think that makes more sense than making him fully CGI, because I assume you can tell when someone is, like, next to you or not. But it's also weird, because, like, Peter has the spidey sense. You'd assume that he'd be able to tell something like that, but whatever. Though he's Peter Tingle, right? It's fucked in that film by that point, right? I remember that's a point made. So maybe that's why.
There is some CGI, because he comes up with the... Well, I guess the helmet's kind of weird, so I guess it would be easier to, like, disregard that.
Yeah. I just want to villain in the MCU called the Framer, who has the ability to make really good videos that make superheroes look bad, and the video quality is so good that people believe it's real. That's such a specific power, but that is kind of interesting.
Video, this one is actually pretty easy to debunk. They'd be able to immediately tell based on ambient noise that the audio had been edited to pull Edith and Peter lines from 2 separate moments in time, thereby getting the evidence and thus the charges completely thrown out.
So again, that's the kind of thing, like, is the film just poorly edited, or is, you know, this actually supposed to be evidence that it is doctored? Because I don't know, it's...
Okay, let's assume that they can't immediately tell that the video's fake. Is there still a case here? Well, again, no. Look at the video. Peter's face isn't seen on camera. All we see are just some spider legs. That's not conclusive, and likely would not hold up in court. All we have to go off of is Mysterio identifying the individual attacking him as being Peter Parker. Now, this one is actually interesting. Normally, something like this would be dismissed as hearsay, an out-of-court statement that's offered to prove the truth of whatever it asserts. It's Peter because the accuser says it's Peter. That's not evidence. That's just an accusation. But here, Mysterio actually benefits from an interesting loophole. Statements made by someone who's dying are...
Oh yeah, as on the verge of death, it's dealt as a confession because you have no reason to lie, which is a plot point in season 3 of Daredevil, actually, which I like that scene a lot.
Are allowed to stay in as evidence. So his accusation of Peter would be kept, but that doesn't necessarily mean hearsay ends here. To get a video like this admitted into evidence, it needs to be authenticated. There needs to be a way to prove that it is what it claims to be. Basically, there needs to be a witness to say, yep, this one's mine, I filmed it. If there's no witness present who can be cross-examined about the evidence, then an attorney can argue that the substance of the photo or video is hearsay, thus getting it dismissed. And considering that the only 2 people there on the bridge were Mysterio and Peter, the video would never make it to court, meaning that all...
Wait, I'm sorry, that seems kind of weird. That doesn't really make sense, because if you're gonna record a video just before you die, because you're afraid you're gonna die, and that is taken as, like, evidence, but it isn't admissible because you died?
How can you be there to say that video is mine?
Yeah, that's insane, actually. I don't think MatPat's correct about this, because this seems insane. Like, you need to prove that you recorded a video after you died. Like, what?
Surely the forensics would be able to prove this by seeing the source being belong to you and placing a date or time on it.
Yeah. Yeah, he would have needed to send it somewhere, right? So I guess that's how they do it, I guess. But
is MatPat not gonna bring up how, or like why this video was released a week after the fact, and like who did he send it to? What did he record it with?
Yeah, because I assume it was like an Edith drone that recorded it with to make it all fake. I don't know. Maybe he recorded it. No, because he couldn't have recorded it before everything happened, because he needed to be on the bridge and know, right, that being on the bridge would. But
and know that Nick Fury would find out about his plan.
Yeah, because he didn't. This wasn't part of his plan initially. He sent it to the Framer. Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused about the logistics of this.
Would never make it to court, meaning that all charges are dropped. In short, for as unbelievable as it was to see the charges go away that quickly in No Way Home,
I assume this video is made for people who are like annoyed that happened, but it's like it's funny for us because I'm like it's so silly. It's obvious why it happened. Like it's not a second thought why it's dismissed. But I guess there were people who were annoyed about it.
It's not actually that far-fetched. There was nothing truly holding up the case, not even the accusers. And you see, this is the weird little conspiracy that I think I found. So this whole investigation was put on not by the police department or the FBI, but rather by the Department of Damage Control, which, let me just be clear, is not a real thing. It's a fictional organization that exists within the Marvel Universe. Remember when Spider-Man Homecoming started with Adrian Toomes deciding to become the Vulture after his salvage company got put out of business? Well, the reason that the Vulture had to turn to a life of crime was
because of damage control.
Stark Industries and the federal government, the Department of Damage Control, will oversee the collection and storage of alien and other exotic
a
materials.
Stark Industry joint venture with the government. One that, I might add, started as exotic waste removal, but in No Way Home allegedly does law enforcement? I don't know, it's...
Yeah, that does seem weird. I guess it grew over these past few years to be a bigger part of, like, investigating alien threats, I guess. Especially after S.H.I.E.L.D. fell, but I don't know.
Sounds awfully suspicious. And that, I think, is the key
Okay.
to what's
What?
really going
I
on
don't know.
here.
I couldn't hear what happened, and then he put the Among Us sound at the end. That was. I think I've gone insane. Wait, what happened?
Suspicious. And that.
It would be sus. Is that what he says?
Oh,
Yeah.
that would make sense
Okay.
because he puts the Among Us sound. Okay, see,
Yeah.
it makes sense. It would be sus.
Is awfully suspicious. And that, I think, is the key to what's really going on here. The way that Damage Control comes after Peter Parker hard only to completely drop the charges doesn't make much sense if you're just thinking of them as regular law enforcement. But it makes total sense when you realize that they're not law enforcement. They're a cleanup crew from Stark Industries, doing this specifically so Peter, Mr. Tony Stark 2.0, can get off scot-free by stepping in.
Well, okay, the way they're doing it so he can get off scot-free is to accuse him of shit and then let him go, instead of just skipping the whole process and not accusing him at all. What? This makes no sense, MatPat. Oh, this is insane. What are you talking
what's
about?
happening?
He's basically saying that because Damage Control is a joint venture with Stark Industries and I think the government, they were working for Stark Industries to prove Peter's innocence by accusing him of shit and then letting him go so fast, instead of just not accusing him.
I figured that's what he was saying, but like,
it makes no sense.
why would he think this?
I don't know. It's MatPat. It's what he does.
Themselves, they ensure that they're the ones in control of the situation rather than leave things up to traditional law enforcement.
But you just said it wouldn't stand up. So why would they? I don't. But if they're not, but you just said they're not law enforcement, so they wouldn't have been able to do this. But apparently they are, so they can. So it doesn't matter. The end result is the same, MatPat. Why would they do this? It's not like the police are gonna like let him go or not based on this shit. It's like the court, right? It's like the justice system. They're accused, and the justice system's like, hey, you're free to go. You're not, like they would analyze that shit. It would be like police.
Like, he needs a lawyer for a reason here.
Yeah. Like, the police are leading the investigation against the police, the Damage Control, but anyway. I'm very confused here, because at any rate, they would need to present this as a case to, like, the justice system, and they would decide it.
Damage Control is able to swoop in and make a big to-do about throwing the book at Peter Parker and his friends, putting on a show for the actual police. They make it look like they're playing hardball while actually gently lobbing a bunch of softballs the entire time, making up a bunch of charges that sound scary but actually amount to very little, all while waiting for the anti-Peter sentiments to die.
I think MatPat has identified what is called poor writing, and he translated that into, see, it's this big plot of the characters being super smart.
Down. In the process, they protect the reputations of everyone involved. Oh,
so much so that Peter spends the entire film trying to fucking rescue his reputation by getting them into MIT again.
Yeah.
Thank you, MatPat. That worked great.
Yeah. Happy's fucked over, May's on charge of dangerous
Happy's
charges.
still being charged, right? He's not let go by the end. He's the one that's still being prosecuted after they're all let go. Like Matt says, right? Oh, Happy, you're not gonna, you're still on the hook.
Oh yeah, and mentioning, but in the comics, the Department of Damage Control was actually started as a joint venture between Tony Stark and Wilson Fisk. Yeah.
No, they're not doing this in the MCU. This was done in 2017. That's.
Oh no.
No.
Is he gonna be like?
Oh yeah, Wilson Fisk.
They might do this in the future.
Yeah, be like, oh, Fisk.
Reveal that Wilson Fisk was part of Damage Control.
Yeah. It's like, please, no.
That Fisk, the Kingpin, who, based on...
No, not that Fisk.
AKA
the Fisk from the comics.
Kingpin.
AKA Filson Whisk.
Filson Whisk. But yeah, no, it's not that Fisk. You shouldn't show that Fisk. You say, yes, that Fisk, it's not this one, but okay.
He wants it to happen, that's why he's showing the Netflix one.
And Matt Murdock's appearance here is definitely a part of the MCU.
No, it's the same actor, but as far as I'm concerned, from what Charlie Cox said especially, it seems like the Daredevil show is going to be like a different universe from the Netflix ones, thankfully.
Who even knows?
Yeah, it seems like it is, because it's like, oh, we're doing different, like a new story.
Yeah. Charlie Cox made it sound like that, but who knows, the MCU might like retcon that
Yeah.
in the future and say like, oh no, all
Yeah.
the Netflix stuff did happen.
Yeah, they just bring back Dex and his actor and like, yeah, remember that setup? We're paying it off. No.
Not really saying that it matters here, just pointing out that we should probably be paying attention to who's really pulling the strings the next time we see the DoD pop up. But
Sure. Imagine you watch Miss Marvel, you see this character showing up again to, enforce the law on Miss Marvel for just being like a vigilante in that show. Like that happens in episode 2 and be like, oh, you see, it's Wilson Fisk going after Miss Marvel. Yeah.
What was that image of Ultron?
Oh, it's because he said pulling the strings and you remember there are no strings on me.
Yeah, no, but it was just a weird image of him. His eyes looked really big, I think. I don't know if that's just me.
here, just pointing out that we should
Maybe it was like
probably
an
be paying
image of a
attention to
toy or
who's really
something.
pulling the strings.
Yeah, it does look weird, actually.
His eyes look a little far apart. I don't know.
Yeah.
It does look like concept art, though.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say it looks like concept
Who
art.
knows?
The next time we see the DoD
Because this mouth
pop
also
up.
looks weird.
But hey,
That's just a theory. A theory. Oh,
Conspiracy
fuck
theory
off.
about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, meaning a film theory. And cut.
Whoa, that was.
So he did ignore the how the footage was recorded. He
Yep.
also what I picked up was because Mysterio has two like angles. He's doing a selfie video and then he like sets up the camera like next to him because he's clearly not holding it when he's like in pain, and then Spider-Man says his thing. But the camera's like shaky, so it just looks like someone is holding the camera recording
Oh, yeah,
him.
yeah.
So it's like,
It
where's
looks like
that
the sword
witness?
behind. Yeah, that's actually a good point because they'd be like, wait, there's someone who recorded this.
Yeah, and why did Spider-Man like allow this person to like record and like witness him
Well,
telling the drones to kill everybody?
Well, it's also like, why did he allow Beck to say that to a camera? What, like, it was just like hearing Beck do that right next to him and just allowing him and killing him afterwards. It's like, just kill
I'm
him
assuming
right away.
I'm assuming Spider-Man wasn't next to him when Beck did the selfie video, but he was when whoever was recording him.
Oh yeah, because it's the execute thing. Because yeah, the execute them all
Yeah.
thing is later, right? There's a cut in the thing, I think. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he just allowed a witness to hear him say that out loud.
Yeah, I guess that's sure. Oh well, that was a video. That was not a very good video. MatPat started off well today with the Sonic video. That was actually a pretty good one, but went off the rails, as he does. Why does it feel like I'm watching a flat Earth video? I mean, he even says it's a conspiracy theory video. To be fair, a conspiracy theory by the end of the video. So, I was curious though. It made me curious to check his channel to see if he's made anything about Multiverse of Madness, because he said about like in the beginning of the video of checking it to make a theory video on like the multiverse future of the Spider-Man. I was like, oh, actually, if you do that, you gotta acknowledge the fact that Multiverse of Madness means that Venom will destroy Earth via an incursion. So I was wondering if he was gonna bring that up in a video, if he made a video on the multiverse, but I doubt he would, because that's just a very
Like the fact that he left a little nugget of himself in the
and
MCU.
because that's from a different universe.
Yeah.
In theory, it would cause an incursion. Though to be fair, an incursion would happen as well because Gamora is on this Earth as of Endgame.
Gamora too.
Yeah, but Multiverse of Madness doesn't remember that. Yeah. And now, obviously, America Chavez being in this universe would also cause an incursion. There are a few things that would cause incursions. For Doctor Strange's cape as well. That's also something. Cloak.
But Michael Waldron, as he once said, oh fuck, what was the stupid thing he said?
That's just me not knowing what to do with the script.
Yeah, not knowing what to do with the script.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, people. That's it. That was the stream. Did you have fun? I had fun. Woohoo!
Did have fun.
That was fun. Yeah. Yeah, Madvika, thanks for coming on again in the middle of another stream. That seems to be a normal occurrence now. But yeah,
No problem.
always fun having you on, and watching Flash, even if it is just a trailer, and then watching some MatPat. We've introduced people to watching MatPat with us a lot over the years on ECUM, so glad you're you're also part of that club.
I don't think I've ever watched Mr. Pat's videos before.
Really? Like, at all?
I don't think so. Like, I've always known about him. I just didn't ever was never interested on clicking one of them, I suppose.
That's interesting.
How dare you?
I mean, yeah, it's just like MatPat and like CinemaSins and like Nostalgia Critic are all just channels like I assume everyone has watched like some videos of them over the years, because most people have. That's interesting. But anyway, yeah, people, thank you for watching. We'll catch y'all next time. I don't know if there's anything else anyone wants to say.
The blacks are evading again.
Okay, Jeb. No. I thought like Tin was gonna say something. I was gonna be like, hey Jeb, say something about Sonic, but then he said that. So I'm just gonna end the stream. Thank you everyone for watching. Sophisticatistic. Yeah, we made a joke about you. Rewatch it. I'm not gonna tell you what timestamp it is because I don't remember. So yeah. Goodbye, people.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.